Let's see if it'll let me. Hello? Do we have audio now? Can you confirm?
Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, please. Hello, this is London calling.
Hello,
London
podcast listeners.
calling.
Attention,
Sorry,
bear fuckers.
a window update happened and decided to be fucky.
Fecky. Fecky.
Fecky. We are recording.
Okay.
We're recording.
That
It's
weird
just,
toggle thing.
yeah, that weird. It turned off our audio device.
Right. Because that's what you want it to do.
Yeah. Hooray. All right, now let me find that tweet. That sweet tweet.
Hooray, great, hooray, hip, hip, hooray.
I'm just glad it let me change it while we
Yeah.
were live. I think
Yeah.
before we had to stop it.
Me too.
It
OBS is getting better.
is. I have to admit, it's getting better all the time.
For streaming, they, I think Streamlabs either partnered with or bought OBS. And so they have a combined thing called Streamlabs OBS, which is abbreviated SLOBS. But it actually...
I get it.
It integrates like all the alerts and everything. It's really nice.
Good
It
job.
works quite well.
Good job.
It cuts down your programs from 2 to 1.
To 1.
And it will import all of your OBS settings so you don't have to set everything the fuck back up.
Like Rapthor's hammer. What a savings.
Yep.
Yeah, my lips feel good and they're all greasy.
Lube them up, you son of a bitch. Yeah. Get it all in there. That's the way I like it.
What are you doing over there?
I'm getting our product placement. So it's facing the camera.
Why not just turn the whole mic?
Well, I was, but I wanted to do it gently.
Oh, that wasn't very gently. I could hear all of it.
I want to chuck you. Gently.
Oh dear.
I can hear it all. Don't forget.
I want to pod you discreetly.
Yo, MTV Raps Digital Underground.
It's true.
It's a very exclusive card.
It is. You can only find it in the BMFcast studio.
Yeah. If you ever visit, you can get yourself a free pack of it. Yo MTV Raps cards, unopened.
It's true.
It's true. When I first got here, they gave me like 4.
Well, that's because you're special. Most people only get 1.
Yeah.
I'm back. As you have noticed, chat.
Yeah, we have this new thing. It's like Mackie can't be. If Mackie's here, you can't be here. And
Right. This side of the table can only handle one person a
Right.
week. Because there's too much greatness in either of us.
It's actually a building code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop fat shaming me, Chuck.
Mackie's like 8 feet tall. It's all his weight is in his bones because he has so many of them.
How many bones is it? 208? How many bones are in the body?
I think there's 203.
3?
I'm going to go 203.
I don't know. I guess I could Google this. I only have a computer sitting in front of me.
According to Lever 2000, though, you have 2,000 parts.
Right.
Well, parts.
Yeah.
You can't wash your bones.
Well, you can.
You can wash one.
206. We were both wrong.
Sabrina was right.
Sabrina was right. Yeah, she was all over it. I mean, she is a professional bone seer, so
Right?
Oh, wait.
Wait.
Like at a carnival or some shit?
Like take some chicken bones and I see it in the very near future.
she's a bone seer. She's a radiologist,
Sure.
right?
Sure. Yeah, she does radio.
Yeah.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the hospital.
Yes.
The temperature is 86 degrees and your spleen is infected.
WXRAY.
Oh.
Unless you're west of the Rockies. Then it's KX.
Right.
WRY.
KXRY. Radiographer.
I guess technically you win, though, because you were closest without going over.
It's true.
Yeah.
Price is right.
Price is
rules.
right, yeah. One bone. One bone.
One bone.
Well, should we do this thing or
I
something?
don't know. You want to banter a little bit?
I'm
Oh no, it's 9:31. We got to.
It's kind of chilly.
Subtract 1 minute.
And we gotta heat this fucker up because right now it's kind of chilly.
We
but
have no time limit right now.
That's true. All right, fine. We'll banter a little bit more. We'll let some more folks arrive.
Loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, loosen up.
Get our bones.
Get our bone talk out of the way.
Yeah.
Get
our
out,
bones
get out
scene.
of the bone zone.
Welcome to the Bone Zone on WXRY. Stephen King, being a former cocaine addict, later admitted that he was coked out of my mind the entire time he was making this picture and often didn't know what he was doing. He remarked that he'd like to try directing again someday, this time sober. And as we all know, sober stands for son of a bitch, everything's real. Gary Busey taught me that.
Okay.
I still need to have that framed and bring that in here for, reasons.
But you have this?
Yeah.
Oh, thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when there was like a sale on his dumb motivational posters, and I was like, "Hey guys, I bought one," and you're like, "You're an idiot." And I was like, "Yeah."
I said this? I said you were an idiot?
Yeah,
Well,
I think
mean,
all
yeah,
of you
you
said I
did.
was an idiot.
I remember that.
Yeah. I don't think
I mean-
anyone was behind that purchase except me.
I think I just look for excuses to to proclaim.
Yeah. I mean, you got plenty of them. Like,
oh, man, I just sneezed. Oh, you fucking idiot.
Fucking idiot.
Fucking idiot. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm running out of banter.
Oh no. Oh no.
I love that AC/DC song so much.
Which one?
You know the one.
Yes.
The one about balls and sexing.
And rockin'.
Mhm.
And thunder,
Rockin' the balls.
and or
I
lightning.
do remember the one about the balls.
Look at you taking selfies on the gram, Chuck.
Wait, what?
Chuck's taking selfies and posting them on the gram.
I am.
You're gramming it these days?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's
Fucking-
he's tagging the BMFcast
I am.
Oh.
on the gram.
Let's check out Grandpa over here on the gram. Instagrampa.
It's actually
That's a pretty good one.
more stupid than just taking selfies. I'm actually cataloging my T-shirts because when I try to go through my T-shirts, I don't remember which ones I enjoy wearing. So I have like a stack of T-shirts I need to get rid of.
Wait, what? What? Like you put a shirt on and you're like, I don't enjoy
Some
wearing
T-shirts
this.
just don't fit.
Well,
like some of the
sure,
like
I
Game
just-
Warp shirts and stuff, they don't fit right. They're just weird.
No, some you wash and it's like some like the yeah, and they go
the armpits shrink up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I always like I put on a T-shirt and I'm like I don't enjoy wearing this, but my day has begun. So, but then it goes in the wash, and then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, did I like that I don't know. So
I like that.
So
Like,
are you cataloging the ones you like or the ones
yeah,
you
the
don't
ones
like?
that are fine are ones I'm taking pictures of, and then I put them on the gram.
I just
'cause,
like that you
know.
put them on and don't immediately go nope, and then switch it.
Sometimes you don't know until like you sit down and the shirt just like comes up and it's like a half shirt all of a sudden. You're like, well, fuck, this isn't an actual shirt, but I'm already on the bus. So what am I gonna do?
Like you've ever
Wait,
been on
are
a
you riding
bus?
the bus?
Like you've ever been on a bus, Jack?
on a bus?
School buses don't count.
I don't live in an ivory tower. I drive a fucking Versa. Jesus.
Privileged fuck, you can afford to drive a Versa.
Yeah, seriously. Fucking upper echelon over here.
Mr. fucking Moneybags with his 4-year-old Versa.
I literally own the shittiest car on the market.
No, that's not true.
Can't be true.
How many of them have been destroyed?
Well, that's not.
That's just your shitty
Yeah,
luck.
that's luck. That's not a. I guarantee you, a fucking. What's the thing even lower than a Yaris? There's like a sub like even worse than a
Well,
Yaris.
the Yaris is pretty bad.
Yeah, I know,
They
but I
don't
mean-
make the Yaris anymore, do they?
Well, there's the
Fit?
Echo. The Echo. Oh, the Fit. Yeah, fuck that little Fit.
Yeah, fits aren't so good.
Sorry if anyone drives a Fit out there. I'm not trying to fit shame you.
I think you are.
I might be.
Wow, that went places.
Yeah, it did.
I've been on a bus.
School buses don't count.
I'm not talking about a school bus.
Mm-hmm. When's the last time you've been on a bus? I don't know. Yeah. It was about 9. It was yellow.
True. You're yellow.
It's fucking fighting words.
Let's go. Fucking fight me.
This podcast studio ain't big enough for the both of us. I'm about to bust a cap in your ass.
Oh, I get it. Bus.
All right, I think we've bantered enough.
Okay.
Let's do a thing.
All right.
I just hope that we've waited long enough for Stephen King himself to show up, since we tagged him and all on Twitter.
I'm sure he's on his way.
Yeah, he's just logging into YouTube.
He's loading
right
up his
now.
YouTube right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's
He'll
got
be-
nothing else going on.
No, he's just hanging out with his dog, Molly.
Okay.
Is that his dog's name, really?
Yes, Molly, the thing of evil.
Okay.
If you're out there, Steve,
Steve.
keep being awesome.
Make another movie, Steve.
Steve. Direct another movie, Steve. Want to go make Maximum Overdrive 2, Steve?
Maximum Overdrive. Yeah.
2 max, 2
I don't have to do that. We have the thing.
over.
Huh?
2 Max 2 Drive.
Right. Tokyo Drift.
Wilmington Drift.
Yeah, I almost had a joke. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's almost
It happens to me all the time.
All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey! BMFcast.
Yes. Episode 442.
Ooh, is that the weed number?
No. Sorry. So I'm Harlow,
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
Mackie's out this week.
Oh.
He's on vacation.
Yeah, Mackie's
doing cooler
out
things than us.
being slacky.
Slacky
Mackey. So what we do each and every episode of this tier BMFcast is we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie, come in here and talk about it for the first half. Then we
Yes.
rate them good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and
Robot
robot
jocks.
jocks.
Yay! Robots.
However, there are bad movies. Stay away. They get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags and giant bags of trash.
Boo. Sack them up. Toss them out.
It's trash.
Sack
night.
'em.
Get out.
So we're wrapping up Spooky Month with a movie we've kind of been waiting to do for a while because we knew there was a Blu-ray on the horizon.
Yes. It came out Tuesday.
Yeah.
It came out
I
yesterday.
see a Blu-ray horizon.
And that movie is 1986's Maximum Overdrive.
Yes.
It's got things we like trucks and explosions.
Have you ever heard of Stephen King?
I think I'm aware of his presence.
He is a writer,
Uh-huh.
and he
From Maine?
He is,
Okay.
and he wrote this
Yeah. And directed it.
and directed it.
The only thing he's ever directed, I believe.
Correct. Yes.
So let's get a quick plot summary for Maximum Overdrive out of the way, and we will talk about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
A group of people try to survive when machines start to come alive and become homicidal. Nice, quick, to the point.
That
Accurate.
works. Although
Accurate.
there are some finer details mixed in there that may or may not be relevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, machines come alive.
So before we delve into this craziness, we usually kind of do like a little behind the scenes, like BMFcast alums.
Oh, right, yeah.
Since Stephen King has never directed anything before, this marks his first time.
Sure.
He hasn't written anything that we've watched either,
No, I
No.
don't
because
think
he's
so.
written a couple screenplays.
Yeah.
Sure.
But we haven't done any of those.
Yeah. But anyone?
Giancarlo Esposito.
Sure, there was him.
Yes,
He was in Monkey Bone.
Yeah.
Monkey
I feel like we've done something with Frankie Faison, but
Sure. Oh yeah.
probably
Yes.
somewhere along the way. But
Yes.
he's in this.
Yeardley Smith has had to have been in something.
You would think. I mean, she just
I mean, she looks kind of like a weird piece of adorable, but
sounds like a angry and annoying Southern Lisa Simpson
Yes.
throughout the whole thing.
Right.
Because she is.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some people in it.
Yeah.
trucks.
We
BMFcast
didn't
alum
I guess we didn't do our
Yes.
homework on this one. We usually do. So
Yeah, I-
you didn't Google this.
No, I did a busy
All right,
day.
Fine. It's
Sorry,
fine. It's,
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's
Sorry.
fine. We'll just jump into this madness.
There's lots of people in this that
Uh-huh.
you like.
Yeah. And some you don't, because you're
Guy
not
from
supposed
Batman's in it.
to. Yes, the guy from Batman. Was he Commissioner Gordon? Is that who he was? On the old one?
Yeah, he was either Commissioner Gordon or the mayor.
Yeah. Oh, that was in the '89 Batman, right?
Right.
Yeah. Pat Hingle.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Anyway.
forget which.
Yeah, this movie.
Uh-huh. Starts with a text thing.
It ends with the text thing.
Yeah.
But in between, there's a bunch of craziness. So
Yeah, the text things are the most plot the movie gives you.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of read it and go, yeah, whatever, movie. But they're super duper relevant because it's literally bookending the movie with the actual plot because the movie itself doesn't tell you shit.
Yeah. So I have questions, and I don't know when to bring them up. Let's drop what the main plot is that they give you at the beginning, because this is 1986, the year, I believe, the year of Halley's Comet.
86, 87, somewhere
Around
there. But this is not Halley's Comet.
No. I mean, it's just there was a weird thing happening in the 80s where we became, for a short period of time, sort of mildly comet obsessed. Like comets were going to come and do weird shit, which is strange because I feel like we knew comets were just balls of ice by the 80s, and yet there was Night of the Comet in this where it's like comets come and fuck shit up.
It's good sci-fi bullshit because at the time no one could look anything up. So
Yes.
people would just be like, yeah, man, that's what's going to happen. The comet's going to fuck us up.
Yeah. So a comet, Rhea M, is passing by. I'm guessing named after like the Saturn thing. Is that Rhea? I don't know. Well, it's a moon of one of the planets, Rhea.
Oh, right.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah. And it's just like the tail is gonna pass through Earth for like 7 days or so, and
Yes.
then, things are gonna happen. Weird things are gonna happen.
Yeah.
And we are established right away that this takes place in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yes, a hotbed for movie entertainment. Scenic Wilmington, North Carolina.
And yeah, I mean, the movie doesn't waste a lot of time. It's like, first it's just little clues of like, hey, machines are coming into life. And then it's like...
Well, the first shot you see is the exterior of a bank.
Right.
With its digital sign that is, putting up, hey, mortgage rates, blah, blah, blah. And then just suddenly it starts saying, fuck you.
And then it goes to the ATM, and it's Stephen King
going
to the ATM, and it just goes, you're an asshole, you're an asshole. It's like, 10 go to,
Yeah.
10 print, you're an asshole, 20 go to 10.
Yep.
But that big bank sign that's outside, it just flashes "fuck you, fuck
Right.
you, fuck you."
Yeah. But yeah, we get our
Sets the stage right there.
we get our sort of comedic opening because it's Stephen King. It's like it's from the perspective of like the security camera on the ATM with a fisheye lens, and it's just like, honey, this ATM's telling me I'm an asshole, and then like right into the AC/DC music, which is prevalent throughout. They did pretty much the entire soundtrack,
Yes.
minus a couple like other songs popping up here and there.
Yeah, but the opening credits actually just say music by
Yeah,
logo of AC/DC.
Yeah, I was going to say it switches fonts just for the AC/DC logo.
Yeah, I think that's in their contract.
Yeah, and then. Yeah, it's just like, hey, let's establish North Carolina and the surrounding areas, and
Well, there's people driving over a bridge.
right. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, first it's just like here's some random trucks and shit, and like things are happening in North Carolina.
I mean, you just see trucks going back and forth over this bridge, and you're like, ooh, it's the trucks. But then, like, there are two dudes working the bridge controls who aren't working the bridge controls. They're just playing cards, and the bridge controls just come alive, and the bridge starts going up. And
while there's cars on it,
and citizens are not prepared for what to do when this happens
No, they're
because
it's fucking chaos.
it's mayhem. I mean, it's just cars flying everywhere and people flying through windshields
Yeah, I
and
think
watermelons.
I mean,
and-
I think the first one is like there is just a lady that straight gets just shot through a window,
Yep.
and it's like the old plate glass windscreen, whatever.
yeah, and there's a dude on a bike who immediately just slides right off the bridge into the river.
Still wearing his helmet, so he's going
Yeah.
like this weird echo thing. And,
Yeah, and there's this one truck that's stopped right over the midsection of the bridge that's opening up, and he gets out, sees that it's doing that, and he's like, oh no, and then decides he's going to get back in the truck and try to rev it out of the way, which of course
makes the rear axle come off.
yeah,
and-
which slides down and smashes into someone else, and then the truck falls into the river.
yeah.
There are a lot of stunts in this scene.
Oh yeah, because then cars are sliding back, as the sides are coming up, and the two workers come out. And they're like, the light's green. The things didn't come down. What did
The trap's
what in
clean.
tarnation? Yeah. So
So bridge mayhem.
things are weird.
And then it's just like, all right, let's establish some more of this, and it'll just be people driving on the road, and like a parked car will just briefly flash its lights. We see Yeardley Smith and her newlywed husband, guy. I don't know, is Kurt? I think his name is
Kurt.
Kurt or Curtis. I think she keeps calling him. Yeah. And then it's just like they'll drive by some trucks, and they're just parked, and then all of a sudden like they'll flash their lights, and they come up to a train track, and like it briefly flashes the crossing sign, and then just goes off, and he's like, "Did you see that?" And then fairly shortly after, it's just like there's a long murder line of trucks, and then one truck comes out and tries to kill them and starts chasing them, and this is when the shit like starts going.
Yeah,
nuts.
because they pull over to a gas station, and there's very clearly a dead man there, and he goes to investigate, and she's like, "He dead," and he's like, "Mm." And
I don't think we can understate how annoying Yearly Smith is being in this.
Sorry,
so
Yeardley, but
they are dubbing in accents over people's existing like they went back into the studio and redubbed themselves more North Carolinian than they were, and I've spent a lot of time in North Carolina. The accents are not that bad, but there are at least 2 or 3 characters in this who, whenever they speak, it's like, what?
Yeah.
What are you saying? And she's kind of one of them. Every third line of dialogue she says is like, huh?
Yeah, Pat Hingle especially. Like,
yeah.
He says a lot. And he's trying to do, like, he's making up colloquialisms on, like, everything he says. Like, one of them is, like, you're crazier than a rat in a filled-up shithouse or something like that. It's just like, the fuck is that? Is that a thing?
Spinning his own yarns.
Yeah. But,
yeah.
He's also chomping on a cigar the whole time, so that makes it doubly hard to understand.
And he's the boss of this gas station, and we actually
truck stop.
or truck stop, yeah. And we actually see the truck stop before we get introduced to the newlywed couple. And
yeah, minor things are happening there. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm so phlegmy. I'm terribly sorry about that.
It's a comment.
Yeah, it's a comment. But like, one of the dudes is trying to fill up. Well, this establishes like
The Green Goblin truck.
Green
pulls
Goblin
up.
truck pulls in,
Yeah.
and this guy gets out and he goes in and he's like getting coffee and he wants to get the truck filled up. So Duncan or whatever his name is filling up the truck, and it stops. Like the gas or the diesel pump stops working, and he does the dumbest thing in the world, which is look directly down the pipe.
Yeah, he just sticks it like right in his face, just like what's happening?
And gets absolutely doused with diesel in the eyes, so
Yeah.
he's out. He can't see. There's a waitress who is
She's taken over for
she's
Emilio
taken
Estevez.
over, taking over the grill.
Because Emilio Estevez has been called into Pat Hingle's office, and Pat Hingle is asking him to work a 9-hour shift, but only clock in for 8. And
And you can do that because there's an ex-con.
yeah, and he's like, "I'll call your parole officer," blah, you know, and Emilio Estevez is like, grr. So she has literally thrown every component in the kitchen onto this grill. Like, the grill is just every breakfast food ever in a big pile.
Yeah.
And she's just scooting it around, and everyone's like, "Is that done yet?" And she's like, "Yeah, I don't know." And then an electric knife comes to life.
Yeah, one of those like, Ron Popeil
Yeah.
battery-powered electric turkey carving knives is sitting on the grill for some reason, or near the grill for some reason,
Yeah.
in this diner. Like, you would, I don't know why it's there. It's there for plot.
Yeah.
And it just comes to life and just cuts into her arm for no reason,
Yep.
except machines. And she starts screaming, and Emilio runs out of the back room and runs over to her, and it falls on the ground. And then starts going after her feet. Like, this little knife starts trying to saw into her feet. It's like the little what was the you guys have watched Transformers recently? What is the dumb little thing that turns into a toaster and the boombox and everything? It's like that thing. It's just like
Yeah.
And
Emilio just smashes it with a hammer.
yeah, smashes it up with a hammer.
And everyone's like, "Yeah, fuck that thing up."
Yeah. There's like everybody that was in the diner is surrounding them and like, hit it with a hammer, Emilio, and so he does.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
And I think it's about that time the arcade room goes nuts and kills
That
Junior.
happened fairly around the same time
Yeah.
as the knife, because Giancarlo Esposito is just hanging out in this arcade that's in the truck stop. And it cuts to the room already going nuts. It's not like he was just hanging out in there and then it started going nuts. It's already been established that it's going nuts in there.
Well, like the pinball tables were playing themselves, and then they start sparking, and then the cigarette machines just starts spitting out cigarette packs and all the money, and so is the change machine, and he's just like,
Fucking free
I'm taking it
smokes,
all.
man.
Yeah, he's just like loading up on
Free
everything.
smokes, and
Yeah.
the vending machine spits out a bunch of shit. He ends up, like, when we see him a little bit later, he ends up with a raspberry zinger tucked into his hat, and like shirt full of smokes and change and snacks, and the coffee machine. There's some really good like vending machine puppetry in this movie.
Yeah.
The coffee machine is dropping a cup, filling it up, and then kicking it out, just like somebody's got a boot back there and just
Yep.
splashes it all over everywhere.
Yeah, and he makes the mistake. There's an arcade machine in there. It's a Star Castle machine, and it's making all these weird geometric shapes, and he gets kind of mesmerized by it and makes the mistake of touching the machine, which, of course, electrocutes the shit out of him, and he's dead.
Like it does.
Yeah. So they like immediately run over from tending to, lady who just got carved up to like, hey, what the hell's happening in there? So yeah, all that's going on.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
there's
a Little League game going on.
Sure. And you're like, these kids are safe. There's no machines on this Little League field.
Right. So you think. The kids win the Little League game, and the coach is like, okay, time to buy everybody Cokes. Yay. He goes over to the soda dispenser, puts a couple dimes in or whatever. I don't know. It's like a dime for 30 Cokes back
drops
in
a dime,
the 80s. Hits the button, and the machine doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So, of course, he bends down to look at the chute, and
he is positioned properly.
Yeah,
to where the first two fire out of a T-shirt cannon,
right into
his balls,
right into his junk, and he doubles over and is making the face and sounds that you would expect a man hitting the groin with 2 cans of Coke rocketed
now,
at him.
I want to tell a quick story about this. I saw this movie when I was very young, like 9 or 10, and I was watching it with an older cousin. And when that scene happened, I started laughing my ass off, and he looked over at me and said, "That's not funny."
You'll learn.
I understand now, but at the time, that warning stuck with me. It was like, "Oh shit, something's gonna happen."
Were you paranoid of vending machines after that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was paranoid about my balls.
As you should be.
I've worn a cup ever since.
They're fragile. So then, I think he gets a couple more shots, and then he takes one to the dome.
He does take one to the dome, yeah.
And that just impacts like the bottom of a can, like even the indentation around the edge of the can.
Right, he's got a chunk of his skull missing that's the shape of a pop can.
Yeah.
And he's laying on the ground, and it starts firing at the other
just
kids.
Rapid firing at all the kids, and they're like, "What the
kids
shit?"
are gathered around like, "What's happened to the coach?" And it just starts fucking rocketing.
Yeah.
Rocketing soda cans at these kids, which is hilarious.
Kind of funny, yeah.
Until it starts becoming, well, I mean, it is kind of funny that it's hurling them at the kids, but then like, it's a steamroller. It just comes onto the field out of nowhere.
Well,
yeah.
So first, like, the kid that becomes the kid of the movie, who was the catcher, basically, he's like going to check on the coach, and he's like, "Come on, coach, get up!" And he's like, "No, kid, that coach is dead." So the machine starts firing Cokes at his face, and he puts up his catcher's mask to block them and runs off. Another kid goes and gets on his bike and is just hauling ass across the outfield. And the bike... So this is kind of weird. The movie... I think the movie wants you to think that the bike fucking threw him off, but that doesn't make any sense.
No.
But it's like he hits something and he goes tumbling over the front of the bike. And then, like, you just see the scoreboard for the field, and through that comes a steamroller, just barreling through this thing. Like, it's a good shot because you don't see it until it explodes through this scoreboard. And it flattens this child. It squashes this child. Like, right away, this movie's like, we don't give no fucks.
Yeah, we're going to murder kids.
Fuck them.
Oh, yeah, it just in the passing shots of, like, well, no, I'm sorry, it's actually after Deke goes off riding. With, Like, they've murdered dogs, everybody. Like, it's nobody's safe.
Because the kid gets away on his bike, and then they cut back to him later, and he's riding his bike down the middle of the street in these neighborhoods, and so like all these sprinklers are coming on, and it's kind of this like, it seems like this hero's welcome that these things are giving this kid.
Right.
Like, hey kid, join us and we will rule, because it's like this Vegas show of just sprinklers coming on in synchronicity.
And it's all those soakers, so it's all like a fan spray, and they're moving back and forth. Yeah, it looks really good.
This begins my many questions I have for this movie.
Okay.
Because all we know is like Comet's going to fly over, and at this point, and obviously machines are gaining a life of their own. This has been established, and this is the plot of the movie.
Yep.
However,
and they're dicks.
However, it's like, at what point does machinery get a conscience? Or like you become self-aware? Because if the bike really did throw the kid, Deke's bike never fucks with him. He rides his bike all over the place.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yep.
Curtis and Yeardley Smith drive their car just fine.
Yep.
So, because like we were like, well, why isn't their car trying to murder them? And Chuck was like, it's just the trucks. And I was like, all right, I'll go with that. Except for then later in the movie, it's like I think cars were murdering people too.
Yeah, there was a car that had murdered someone.
Yeah.
And
Plus, and I will go with whomever one of you two said the explanation of why the sprinklers maybe could work because like if they were on a
that was me. That was
okay.
Big Brain here.
So if it's like if they were on a Rainbird thing, I'll go with it. But a sprinkler, there's nothing mechanical in a sprinkler. It is just a valve, and there's nothing electronic or possessible that I can explain.
Well,
there.
we did see later, and not that this makes it make any more sense, but we did see later that a valve was able to be turned by spooky means.
Right.
So
yeah, okay.
who knows?
I want to say the end crawl of this tries to explain all this bullshit, but in a really ham-fisted way.
Right.
Because
Does it?
There's a scene where Emilio Estevez has got heat stroke, and he kind of floats this theory, and then the end credit thing kind of just says, "Yeah, he was right," but it's hot bullshit.
The thing about the broom.
Yeah,
burn
something.
scene.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, we can talk about that when
All
we
right,
get
yeah.
there.
But anyway, so Deke's
But yeah,
just
it's a little bit horseshit. I'm
It
with you
is,
on
yeah. Because I mean, it's like, all right, if it's all things mechanical, why isn't Deke immediately murdered? Why aren't Yeardley Smith and her husband murdered?
Yeah, their car is totally.
Yeah.
Their car never turns on them.
No, not at all. And then it's like, so Deke's just riding through his neighborhood, and this is where we get like, hey, here's all the random carnage that has happened while you were having the Little League game, which is like a lady's murdered by a hairdryer in a window. A dog is murdered by a police
RC
like an
car.
RC
Yeah.
police car
In its
as,
mouth.
As we
It's
said,
so dumb.
it's the birth of Cop Dog, or the death of Cop Dog.
It's so dumb, but I really like that shot. Like I if it was a real dog, I would hate it. But it's just this dumb RC car stuffed into a dog's bloody mouth with the little lights going. It's
Yeah.
so stupid.
But yeah, like people have clearly been killed by Walkmans.
Yeah, lawnmower.
Yeah.
There's just a bloody lawnmower.
Oh God, it's in the foreground when the kid rolls up on his bike. There's just bloody lawnmower sitting there, and he's
it
obviously
is grotesque.
Yeah, he's going in looking for his dad or whatever, and he comes back out because he's not there. And this lawnmower is just like, "Fuck you, kid," and just starts coming at him. And he's like, "What?" and gets on his bike, and the next shot is him riding his bike down the street, and just this lawnmower giving chase.
Damn.
And he gets to a four-way stop, and then there's an ice cream truck coming that he has to hide from.
Yeah, he basically just stealths his way to the truck stop. We'll just go ahead and say that because
Can I tell you a little quick bit of trivia about that lawnmower?
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
The radio control lawnmower went out of control.
Oh right, yeah.
Ran over a piece of wood and flung like wood chips everywhere.
It
and like
injured the cinematographer,
cameraman or the
didn't
cinematographer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like lost an eye because of it.
Yeah.
That's like fucked up.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I know cocaine was involved in all that. But you're making an RC lawnmower. There's no reason to leave the blade behind.
Yeah, there really isn't. You could have
Like-
taken that off.
Or at least disengage it. Like that means nothing to the accuracy of an RC lawnmower.
Yep.
Okay, it doesn't say that the blade was on it. It says struck a block of wood used as a camera support, shooting out wood splinters. So anything could have happened.
That sounds like a lawnmower blade was spinning while it was
does.
fucking.
It does.
Yeah, because
It really does. There were mistakes made, namely probably cocaine.
Yeah,
The goof section just says cocaine.
yeah. It's a hell of a drug.
It's just got like Rick James.
Yeah. The other characters are this traveling salesman and a lady.
A lady hitchhiker.
Yeah, she's hitching her way to Florida. He's like, "Yeah, sell Bibles. Now I'm going to touch you." And she's like, "Pull over at this truck stop, you sick perv."
Yeah, because everyone's trying to turn on the radio.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what's going on? And so she hears a brief snippet of, like, get off the road, the machines are coming alive.
Yeah, she basically hears the last radio broadcast.
And then,
And he's like, "I didn't hear nothing," which is weird because he's sitting in the same fucking car. But yeah, she veers them off over to the truck stop. He's like, "Hey, little lady, yeah, you owe me an explanation. Don't walk away from me." And she's just like, "I don't know you shit. Get away from me." And that's when the Green Goblin... man, I'm going to have problems saying this the whole time. The Green Goblin truck comes to life and charges at them. And she pulls him out of the way stupidly.
Yeah.
And
I think the Green Goblin trucker's already murdered somebody, too, at this point. Because I think before they show up, like, the dad with the diesel came out and was like...
No, this is the first time the truck moved because the truck was still parked where the gas pumps were, and it drove over and just kind of went off into the ditch by the side, and then they're all like, "Wait, what the hell was
No,
that?"
I think because like they'd started the truck circle
No.
when
That's
Yearly Smith.
No.
Yeah.
No,
oh
I
no,
wasn't
sorry,
talking about
yeah,
Yearly
yeah,
Smith.
no,
They
the
weren't there
hitchhiker.
yet.
Sorry, the hitchhiker lady.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, my bad.
Yeah. So
I'm
the
confusing all the
truck
people
hasn't
showing
killed
up.
anyone
Yeah.
yet. It tried to kill them.
Right.
But yeah, so like Emilio Estevez goes and looks at it, and there's a Jack in the Box in the back, but he's basically like, "Yeah, there's nobody in that truck. I don't know what the hell's going on." But okay, so the midsection of this movie is
It's just basically the cannon fodder at the truck stop.
yeah. So I mean, there's just a bunch of people in this truck stop, and so
Yeah, there's like 3 gas station like gas pumping dudes. There's
Yep.
the boss guy who's an asshole. There's the waitress lady, Emilio
Yeah.
Estevez. And then like 4 or 5 truckers, a random number of truckers. It seems like truckers kind of keep coming and going. Like you were here.
well,
the whole
there was
time?
there's an overnight truck parking thing where that's where all the trucks come from that circle the thing. So there was just truckers
Yeah.
either sleeping in their cabs or whatever. But okay, so along the way, Yeardley Smith and new husband are chased by a truck, which then crashes off a bridge and explodes.
Well, they pretty much fake it off the road. Like
Yeah.
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 It's weird because like they're having a hard time getting away from the truck. I'm like, I know your car is kind of shitty, but it should be able to go faster than a truck.
Well, it does too. Every once in a while, you just see this car like take off, and someone probably radioed them and said, "Hey, stop."
Yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't
Slow
look
down.
dramatic enough.
Yeah. So that blows up. There's also a bit where the kid is still making his way to the truck stop and is menaced by a plane that is blasting right at the Valkyries.
Which is even
Which at first you thought
pretty
was part of the
self-aware.
soundtrack, but the way they've edited it is
No,
like,
it
no, the
sounds like
plane.
the plane is
it's
playing.
positional audio from the plane.
The plane is
which is
playing it.
which is weird on several accounts because well, it should be a helicopter that's doing it, and B, Emilio Estevez is in this, so you're making a reference to a movie his dad was in.
Yeah.
Just strange. That's all. I don't know. The aliens have a twisted sense of humor, I guess.
They watched all of our
Yeah,
historical
historical
broadcasts.
documents. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, kid just kind of gets north by northwest / Apocalypse Now
Yeah.
for a moment, and then
The
gets away.
plane just kind of flies off and doesn't. It comes back at the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Comes back
we
later.
might see what happened to it
Yeah.
at the end. That could be a different plane, but I'm
what
gonna
a great
imagine
shot
it's the
that
same.
was.
plane.
Yeah. So what happens at some point? Like
Well, it ends up it's Deke's dad, the guy who got blasted with the diesel in the beginning.
Yeah.
So he comes out half blind.
Not yet.
Still not. Okay.
Still not yet. The Bible
Wait
salesman
for it.
gets pissed
Oh,
off and
right.
goes outside, and that's when the Green Goblin truck comes to life again and backs into him and knocks him into a ditch. And you're like, okay, that dude's dead.
So I thought Diesel guy died before he.
No.
even showed up.
That was the
Whatever.
first like kill.
Okay.
So that dude's in a ditch, and they're all like, "Oh no!"
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they're all just kind of hanging out for a while. They're eating all the food and drinking all the things. Like no one's worried about anything. They're all just kind of having a good time. It's somewhere around there where the guy who got blinded is like, "I gotta go get my boy,"
Yeah.
and they're all like, "You can't even see," and he's like, "I can figure it out." So he just kind of steps out and drops his keys. And then the Green Goblin truck just fucking murders him. Just flat out murders him.
It's a good shot because I mean it's one of those sometimes they do the obvious cutaway to the dummy getting steamrolled by something and it's like this looks real good. Like
Yeah.
I mean it's good editing for a movie that's otherwise kind of a hot mess. There periodically it's just like there are things in this movie that are amazing shot wise and it's like how did you pull this together
Well-
in such a weird movie?
All of the automated remote controlled driving is awesome.
Yeah.
Like all of it. Like at one point a bulldozer shows up and the camera just cranes up over it and circles around it like a magician showing you there's no wires. And it's like, this is dope. I mean, this thing is just barreling towards a gas station and moving around. It's not like they just turned it on and made it go.
Right.
And
Also, you pointed out there's a shot when Yearly Smith and her husband are running away from the truck.
Yeah.
That like they must have had like some sort of like Indiana Jones like minecart thing that like with the camera strapped to it because it like goes under the trailer of the semi like
yeah, it Griswold's under the truck
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then swerves out.
I've seen like camera rigs where they basically have a car. It's not even a car. It's just like a frame with car wheels and an engine that they just mount a camera to so they can do stuff like that. And it's maybe a total of about 2 feet tall, including the driver's head, because the driver sits like way down like a Formula One driver.
Yeah.
So it must have been something like that. But that shot looked fucking great.
Yep.
There are a whole lot of shots in this movie that are extraordinary.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the frustrating thing about this is that there's a lot of ridiculous potential going on, and just something about it is just not cohesive enough to where you're like, from shot to shot, you're like, this is a great sequence. It's like, that was a great shot in this otherwise slightly sloppy sequence.
Right. Well, like I think the weirdest thing is like we have constantly said on here, when faced at a crossroads of plausible or awesome, you go awesome every single time.
Yes.
However, there's so much unexplained, random, what feels like broken in this that it's like your brain can't help but go, but wait, why not?
Yeah.
Why
hang
is their card not killing it? And
Yeah.
if you can manipulate otherwise non-electrical systems, how come the kid's bike isn't killing him? How come you aren't just flinging metal knives at people in the diner? Like there's so many things. Like if you can turn a valve, why the fuck aren't you just like literally telekinesing people up onto the grill and burning them? Like
Yeah.
I don't
think
know.
what it needs is a concentration of mechanical objects near each other to gain up enough force powers to activate. Without a bunch of them getting together,
Is that what it
its
is?
power is weak. So,
Okay.
yeah,
That makes sense.
Sure.
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Totally.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that dude dies.
I have another
The
theory
dad
now.
guy dies. The diesel dad dies.
Diesel Dad.
I think some other
It's my
random
truck
people
driving name.
like just die for some stupid reason.
Not really, because what happens is
Wasn't there one guy who's just like, "Hey, y'all, watch this," and like gets sick of being in there because like they had like the waitress lady starts drinking and goes out and starts taunting the trucks at one point in time because she's just down in Budweiser and she's like, "They can't do this. We made them."
Yeah.
And then goes on this whole like screaming thing of like, "We made you!"
Yeah.
And then like has to get grabbed and pulled back before she's murdered.
Yeah, and at one point, so I mean, shortly after this is when all of the trucks wake up and just start circling the place.
Yeah.
So they're circling the place, and that's when Yeardley
Connie and
Smith,
Kirk showed
yeah,
up. Yeah.
and they're like, and he's like, "There's a gap, we can get in there," and she's like, "No, you can't, you're not gonna," and he's like, "Yeah, watch this." So
Hold my beer, Yeardley.
he sees the gap and he guns it, and they almost make it through, but the truck clips them from the back, and they just tumble. It's a good stunt for this.
Another great fucking stunt.
Yeah, they just flip this car over, but they're both fine. They get out.
She's just being super annoying the
She's
entire time.
trapped by a seatbelt, so they have to run out and cut her loose. And
Which is when Hitchhiker Lady produces a straight razor out of her boot
yeah,
to cut her out.
yeah. So I
Go
think
straight in the boot.
I think they rescue them, start to run back, and that's when Pat Hingle shows up with the rocket launcher out of nowhere
yeah.
and is just like, "Hey, suck on this," and just blows up one of the trucks. And you're like, "Well, all right, this movie's about to wrap up." Because then he does it again, and you're like, "Well, I guess they're just going to blow up all these trucks."
And he's got a bunch of
Yeah.
rockets.
But he shoots two of them, the latter being this toilet paper truck, which just toilet paper air cannons out of this thing and is just on
Real
fire
good.
everywhere like popcorn.
Yep.
And then
Man,
he's like,
that is fucking glorious.
Yeah.
Another thing, like, there are a few trucks that blow up real good in this movie, and each time their contents, like, they're not just empty trucks.
Yeah, no.
There's a bunch of shit inside these trucks, and it goes fucking everywhere.
yeah, because
on
they blow up a
fire
Miller
and-
truck later
Yeah.
and just
Man.
beer.
It's like simultaneous air cannoning and pyrotechnics because
Yeah.
it's like the truck stuff explodes, but then it's like, hey, all the contents just
Yeah.
t-shirt cannon out
Exactly.
the back. Yeah.
They're, those shots are so fucking good.
yeah.
They're wonderful. I
Yeah, but
ugh,
he
love
he,
everything about it.
he blows up two trucks and he's just like, "Well, that'll teach him."
And they have a brief argument of like, well, you have these things. Why?
Yeah.
Where are they? Do you have more? And he's like, don't talk about it. And because he's just like, it's like everything he's nonplussed by everything is happening. Doesn't care that like 3 people have died on his property and they're piling bodies up in his storage basement.
Right.
And it's he's just like, don't touch my guns, and I'm still gonna dock you your pay if you try to leave. And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
like at a certain point, there's asshole, and then there's like oblivious asshole.
Well, it's weird. It's like everyone's concern is all channeled into the waitress. Like the waitress loses her fucking mind, and everyone else is just like playing cards, and like Emilio Estevez and the girl, they immediately have bonded and become a couple
Oh, yeah.
over 12
Well-
hours.
Well, because like she immediately, like after sleazy Bible salesman dude got rammed into the ditch, she has to go change clothes because she's like, he had his hands all over me and I just can't stand it.
Icky.
Yeah, because now he's dead.
Got to get
And-
a smell off.
And then
me.
like there's me like, oh, you always carry your razor in your boot, and he's like, if you would you stab me if I try to touch you? And she's like, well, it's more like a slice, but no, I wouldn't because you're cute.
yeah, and then basically it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Well,
we fuck now.
Well, when there's a downtime, we'll have some sex.
Right. which they do.
Yeah.
And then then they're just playing cards in the diner, and it's only the waitress that's freaking out. Everyone else is just like, more eggs,
Yeah.
more beer.
Yeah, every once in a while, just someone will be like, "Fuck this," and like stand up and start to go nuts, and they'll usually tackle them. Like I said, I feel like there was one dude that was just like went nuts, and they were just like, "Well, let him go," because like we can't catch him, and he got green. I don't know. There's like I said, there's random like
It's so random.
no name people that just get murdered.
And just the mid's diner section of this movie is just so. It's not convoluted. It's just lackadaisical. I think is just there's no concern from anybody. And no one really seems to want to do anything about anything that's happening. But
They've all just kind of accepted their fate. It's a little bit.
yeah,
a little
but
bit odd.
gleefully, like they're all just kind of like, well, this is fun. Still, we have food and
And occasionally they'll break into like well, maybe it's a comet, and we'll just have to wait because we all seem to know that it'll be gone in 7 days.
That was even a private conversation
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
I was just like, there's weird like moments where they theorize about what's going on.
it's always weird pillow talk between the two of them. It's just like, here's my latest theory. But it feels like on day 2 of the siege, a dude is still like, I'm going to play the jukebox. And then, it's like the jukebox decides, no, you're fucking not. And just explodes. And they're like, well, that was rude. We've been playing that jukebox all day. Son of a bitch.
Well, no. What happened is he wanted to change the song.
Oh.
He wanted to change what was playing.
Because
and the jukebox
Sink
was
the
like,
Pink was playing from AC/DC.
The jukebox was like, no,
No.
I love this song, this AC/DC song about having sex.
Oh, that one.
Yes,
I love
you
that
knew
song.
which one.
I did, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of fodder in the middle.
Yeah. So, what?
But I don't think as many people die as you think die in the middle,
No,
because
I
a
mean-
lot of them last until
They die
the next scene
like
that's
the
sort of coming
day
up.
3.
There was like I mean, Giancarlo Esposito died right away. Then the Diesel dad died. So
Yep.
there was at least 2 bodies in the basement because at some point Emilio Estevez is taking a piss, and like the goofy fat dude who also knows about the arsenal for some reason
Yeah.
is taking a shit, and he's just like, "Hey, tell me about the guns."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why do we give a fuck about him? We need to survive." And he's like, "Oh, okay, he's in the basement."
Yeah.
And so
They go
yeah,
look at the guns.
yeah, they go get the guns and have a confrontation with Pat Hingle, and basically like, "Dude, we're taking the fucking guns because shit's
Trucks.
going down." Yeah.
Yeah.
And about that time when they're just like, "Yeah, I guess we have guns now and stuff," is when I think they hear the Bible salesman. Like the main thing
Yeah.
that's happening in the second act is Deke is showing up and he's hiding out like right around. He's trying to like use those little
perimeter,
culvert
yeah.
things like
Yeah.
under the road
It's a
to climb
shower
through.
drain.
Well, he's got like the ones like the drainage things that go under a road, and he comes to one that's got a grate on it and he can't get through, and he finds another one about the time it's getting dark. About the time it gets dark, the Bible salesman's still alive, and he's like, "Hello, I'm in pain, lots
Yeah.
of pain. Hello." Not exactly like that.
Hello. Oh, the pain.
And so
I'm dying.
Emilio Estevez and Curtis are like, we got to go rescue him and all this, and so they gear up and they're like, if we just make it to the shower room, we can take the drainage, the shower drain out to where he is.
Yeah.
So there's a whole long extended sequence of them like gearing up to go there. Yeardley Smith yelling like, "You can't go!"
Yeah.
And
Like, I'm a man.
yeah,
I'll go.
yeah, and
Don't you hear the soundtrack? It's for those about to rock.
Yeah.
We salute you, which doesn't fit this scene at all, but whatever.
Speaking of, because like before this shows up, there was I started to ask if there wasn't any like license, like not licensed, but super recognizable AC/DC songs, like the greatest hit songs, before this one showed up, because there's a point where someone just goes "Hell's Bells" and it cuts to something else, and I'm like, motherfucker, there's the perfect time to start that song, and they don't, except they use it later.
Yeah, they do.
It's like, the fuck. Anyway,
Yeah.
cocaine. Anyway, so it's a long like gearing up montage. They've got the rocket launcher, they've got guns, they got a flashlight, which also doesn't murder them for some reason. They go.
Well, why don't the guns murder them?
Exactly.
Because like later a gun shows up to murder them.
Yes, thank you. That's what I'm getting at.
Like, why don't the rockets just go, nah, not firing. I'm exploding in your hand.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because
yes.
plot.
Cocaine. But anyway, they sneak out to the showers. They go through this whole long extended sequence of like, Shawshanking through the shower drain.
Yeah.
One dude, the Curtis dude, just can't shut the fuck up. Like, I guess that's why they're a couple, because like he's been mostly quiet until he's away from Yeardley Smith, and then he's just like jabberjaw, just fucking, and it's like, so when she's around, I guess she does all the annoying talking, and then when she's not, he has to pick up the slack.
But
because,
he also has some sort of running toilet fetish.
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Because at the beginning when they're driving, she's like, "I gotta go pee,"
Oh,
and he's like,
yeah.
"Can I come watch?" And then they're crawling
yeah.
through the sewer, and like some splashes in Emilio Estevez's mouth, and he's like, "How's that taste?" And it's like, dude, what the shit, man?
Well, get on IMDb and write the trivia right now, because somewhere in this movie, Marla Maples is in this.
Yeah.
So you can make a pee joke of your own there.
Sure, yeah. Your toilet.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got a weird pee fetish or something. but-
Something.
Yeah. Anywho, cocaine.
Yep.
But yeah, so they call through. They like Deke has found one of these culvert things and gotten through just in time to like come up and like poke at, listen to, do everything to the Bible salesman dude who appears to be dead until he's like, well, I guess he's dead, and turns away, and then he does the I'm still alive and help me. And apparently dies just before they get there, because they're just coming out of they're to the ditch, and Deke apparently sees Emilio Estevez, who he knows, and he's like, I'm over here, save me. And then like the Bible salesman died kind of off camera while trying to menace the kid, like, if you don't save me, I'm going to murder you.
Yeah.
He just died of
and
a
he just died.
broken everything.
Yes.
But yeah, so then they end up just rescuing Deke, and then thankfully it's just like, all right, cut to them climbing up out of the shower, because we don't need to watch them climb through the shit water again.
We don't need to hear more,
Yeah.
R. Kelly takes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they run back in,
And then even before they get to the main thing, they're like, kids like, where's my dad? And Emilio Estevez like, come on, let's go.
yeah, let's just go.
Let's just go.
And they get back to the diner, and he's like, "Okay, where's my dad?" And Pat Hingle's like, "Oh, he did."
Yeah, he got murdered by one of them trucks. Real sorry, kid. That's a shame.
And then everyone acts like, "You motherfucker!" And it's like, no, that kid needed to know. You
Yeah.
couldn't just keep telling him
also
he's around here somewhere.
Just not be an asshole.
I know,
Like,
but
I mean,
at least do hey, everyone has a father. Step forward.
Yeah.
Deke, not so fast.
also 6 hours later, the kid's totally fine.
Oh yeah, well, like it's daytime and he has bubbles and he's fine.
That's right. He does. Yeah.
Who needs a dad when you have bubbles?
he's dissociating with the bubbles.
Yeah.
I think.
So it's like the next day he's blowing bubbles, and then like the trucks start to slow down and stop, and everyone kind of takes notice, like, that's weird. And this is also when a gun on a golf cart shows up.
Killdozer shows
and
up.
Killdozer shows up. And so Killdozer shows up to push all of the trucks that they have exploded out of the way.
By the way, that's an M274 half-ton 4x4 utility platform truck, not a golf cart.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. What?
It's called a mule. It's a little, I think World War II made by Willys, like the Jeep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So a gun and a bulldozer have shown up to take command. So the bulldozer pushes everything out of the way. The gun drives over to the front of the diner and just sits there. And this again is waitress is freaking out.
No. First off, I don't. There's a lot of weird things in this. I don't like weird side plots that aren't explained and like you're just left to wonder, because there is a point where Pat Hingle this drunk gun shows.
That's not so weird. I guarantee you she was fucking that guy.
But
that was
why?
because they're both terrible.
She's a kind of attractive lady, and
It doesn't matter.
He's a disgusting fat body.
He
her
has
disgusting
money.
boss, and was
Yeah.
probably like, "You're gonna have sex with me, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw you to the trucks, or whatever."
She also might have been one of the ones that had the parole star on her time card.
But they come out of the back room zipping up and everything, and it's like, ew. And then he's just like, oh, this motherfucking gun thing, I'm going to go shoot it. Or maybe she does freak out first, but the murder order
he freaks
doesn't...
out. He decides that he's like, fuck this thing. I'm gonna go fuck up this. Oh no, that's why he decides to do it, because the Killdozer pushes his car.
Yeah.
He's got this
that's right,
big Cadillac or whatever that has a personalized tag that says Bubba on the back, and the Killdozer's like, I'm gonna get Bubba, and pushes it into the diner, and he's like, well, fuck you, goddamn motherfucking rocket in your fucking Killdozer, I'm gonna fuck you up. And they're like, no, because don't do that, because there's a gun on a golf cart out there.
Oh, now it's a golf cart.
Well, that's what they said.
Yeah.
And so he runs out and fucking laws rockets it again. And he's like, I'm the king of the world. And Emilio is like, everybody else get the fuck down, because this is about to pop off. And the gun on the M274 half-ton 4x4 utility truck just starts fucking Breaking Bad all over him, and just shoots.
It eliminates half the cast.
Yeah, about half
basically.
the cast. There are like 5 or 6 trucker dudes that are just standing around going, huh? And they get wasted.
Yeah.
Oh, you said duck? I thought you said truck. And I was like,
Thought
yeah.
you said fuck.
I was
and
like,
was
there's,
up for it.
I was like, there's a lot of them out there, but
Yeah.
now I'm dead.
R.I.P.
Yeah. But yeah,
Then the waitress
yeah.
gets pissed
she
off.
goes outside and again just like, we made you. Don't you understand? And the gun's like, I think he growls at her.
No, it growls when it's done murdering.
Oh,
that's
that's
the
right,
weirdest
yeah.
thing. It's like it just guns her down,
Yeah.
and everyone else again ducks, and then it's just like when it's done shooting, it just and it's like what?
And when she goes down, I think this is when the Miller truck gets it because she fires off the
Yeah.
Law's rocket that
Yeah.
she had in her hand,
It blows up the
and
Miller truck.
it blows up that fucking truck real good.
Yeah.
Beer cans everywhere.
Yeah. But then
They Miller lighted up.
the gun jeep starts doing Morse code with its horn.
To which the kid, fucking Deke,
I know this.
He's like, this is Morse code. I know this. I have a merit badge last year.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. But he sits down, and it's like, they're basically like, hey, we're running out of fuel. We're going to murder you all unless you come out here and fuel us. And if you do fill us up, then we're not going to murder you.
Yeah.
And if you don't, we're going to murder you all.
Yeah. So if you want an explanation as to why the trucks didn't just murder all these people and drive over the whole place, that's why. They knew they might
That's the
need
closest
them.
thing, yeah.
That's the best you're going to get. So Emilio Estevez is like, well, we can't do it without power. And then the trucks turn the power back on, and everyone's like, woohoo! And it's like, the fuck? Calm down.
Yeah.
You're still surrounded by trucks.
The random hitchhiker lady pulls a Godwin's Law thing for a moment just because he's like, well, we got to do this or we're all dead. She's like, it's like sympathizing with the Nazis. And it's like, no, not really. But because,
Yeah.
he's like, I got another plan. It's like, we're going to do this now. And then, like, I got an idea. I've been dreaming of a sailboat that I saw in the marina, and I'm going to go to this island where there are no cars, no machinery, not a single
No
luxury.
fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's called Haven.
Yes.
But yeah, so he goes out and whispers or just talks in the ear of the Green Goblin truck and is just like,
Hey, fuck you, pal.
yeah. And then just they all
Well, he says something like, tell all your friends, like, the main line's open.
yeah.
Come on down.
He's like, I got the sweetest uncut stuff on the East Coast. You're gonna love my shit.
Fuckface.
Yeah.
Does he call it fuckface?
He does, yeah, and it growls at him and its eyes glow red. So yeah, this is just a montage of everyone putting gas in trucks.
And
For
it's-
hours.
And it just keeps showing the thermostat going, 80, 90,
Yeah.
100 degrees, and everyone's just like, whew, it's so hot.
Yeah.
And it also shows like all the trucks on the East Coast lining up at this gas station.
But again, there's such a good shot of the hitchhiker lady gets she gets a break from putting gas in the trucks, and she just goes to go lean on a flatbed that's got some cargo on the back of it, and the camera kind of pulls around it and cranes up, and that's when you see the highway, and it's just
Trucks.
littered with nothing but trucks, and they're slowly rolling towards them, and they're like, ah, shit. But eventually, gas runs out, and Emilio Estevez is like, sorry, we're done, and all the trucks just wail on their horns like, motherfucker. And he's like, nah, sorry, there's no gas. And then there's a gas truck there that literally starts pushing him. This is dangerous as shit.
Some of this stuff is so fucking good. Like, some of this stuff is magical.
Yeah.
When all the trucks start keening as one, I just was absolutely in love with that moment.
Yep.
And then this scene where the fucking gas truck just moves up, and I don't know how they're controlling this thing, but they're doing it really well.
Yeah.
It just starts tapping Emilio Estevez. Just like if you put your hand on somebody and gently pushed them, maybe trying to push them back like 18 inches.
Except
That's
with
how
a
this-
Mack truck.
Except
Yeah.
with a Mack truck. And it's so insistent, but also not literally killing Emilio Estevez by doing this.
Yeah. And fucking balls of steel on him for
Yeah,
just standing
no
there.
fucking kidding. For taking it and like how many takes did that take? Like, I really want to know more about some of the stuff in this movie.
I
And
know.
Well, we have the Blu-ray. Maybe there's extra features.
There's a bunch of stuff on there.
good. I will have to watch them.
No Stephen King participation, sadly, but yeah, it pushes him over to where the gas.
It's weird. It's like he's done all this. He's yelled at the trucks, all of this, and then like he gets over there like, all right, I'm going to fill it up, and it's just like
He's got heat stroke.
all the gas is run out of him because he's just like,
yeah,
it's so heavy. And Frankie Faison comes over and is like, dude, I got this for you.
yeah. Just it's okay. Yeah, and so
When there was only one set of gas prints.
He's like, you go take a break, man.
right,
And then like
This is when he goes and chills with his lady.
yeah, and he has a heat stroke. Like yeah, maybe it's like they're brooms, man. It's just
Yeah.
like, what if we like wanted to move in a new home, but it was like dirty, and there's like dust and cobwebs and soot in the chimney, and they're just here cleaning it all
Yeah,
up.
because it's like, what if the aliens hitched a ride in
'Cause
the comet? And,
we just want to move in, and they're just trying to clean up.
yeah.
Oh, guys, it's so hot.
Yeah, it's so hot. This such a terrible theory. Couldn't possibly be right.
Yeah.
I got a heat stroke. Just don't mind me.
But yeah, so I guess more time has passed. Like other people are now tired, and he goes out to one dude that's like pumping a truck, and he's like, I guess he's like the last guy still pumping gas. Everyone else is like taking a break.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, walk with me.
Yeah.
And he's walking right by the gun cart,
Yep.
thing. And
He's like, when I say
He's-
run, run.
and he's got a grenade in his hand. He's like, we got to play him here. We're gonna get to the marina. We're gonna find a sailboat. We're gonna go to
Yeah.
Gilligan's Island,
Mhm.
and it's gonna be fucking great.
Yep.
And then it's like, unless they can take over coconut phones, I don't know. But he's like, when I say run, run, and then like he just slaps the machine gun that's on top of this golf cart thing, so that it
Spinning
just spins it around. Which of course it just starts firing, and he drops the grenade on there, and they run and like dive in the diner with their asses up, and
Yeah.
to which Hitchhiker's lady's like, I never seen a hero with ass up in his hair like that, haha. And then, but they've blown up the golf cart, and then all the trucks are like, fucking murder them.
Well, there's another little touch that I like about this after they blow up the gun cart is that the remaining bullets all explode
They
in the
start
fire.
cooking off in the fire.
Which, nice touch,
Yep, yep.
I mean, that kind of stuff just doesn't happen. Like, someone was not coked up enough to go, hey, what if we set off some squibs in there?
But yeah, then their plan is just like they take the shower tunnel out to the ditch, and then like trudge through the woods towards the marina.
Yep.
Whoever's left. Oh, I think some more people got killed in the crossfire. Maybe
There's a good 8 people left at the end of this.
Oh,
I mean,
maybe,
there's a caravan of people leaving this truck stop. The trucks have all kind of gone about their business, but the Green Goblin truck is very much not happy about this.
Yeah.
Well,
when they're running away, the trucks are just like, well, we might as well run into the place now.
Yeah. The trucks drive through it and over it. There's a liquid oxygen truck that gets stuck inside of it, which what's going to happen there.
Yeah, and we start to pan away, like I don't know, crane shot, I guess, away from the diner, from like a safe distance, so that you don't die away, or so that your camera crew doesn't die away, and we get what is coming to us. Fucking that whole truck stop.
Yeah. But I mean, it got wrecked before that because like
did.
there's one part where this dump truck is driving through with its
Oh, yes.
dump part straight up in the air, and it is just ripping down all the awnings over the
The dump
over
part. Bed?
sure,
Yeah,
the container.
the cargo area.
But it is just wrecking all the awnings, just knocking them over, and like
that. It crushes through one of the awnings, and then another truck runs into one of the supports
Yeah.
and just pushes an awning over, and then the other truck's crashing into the building itself. It's some good ass carnage.
the killdozer is like, man, this one car, I'm gonna fucking flatten the shit out of this. I'm gonna run over the sign. I'm gonna flatten this car. I'm gonna flatten it again. I'm just gonna keep driving over this car.
It was the obedient car. It was
Yeah.
the car they couldn't control. Maybe. No, I don't have a good enough theory for that.
Maybe it was a Renault. It was the French resistance.
Right.
It's a Nazi allegory, like food fight.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Peugeots are working with the
Yeah.
trucks.
yeah.
There's other good brooms that
right.
came in also, and they were like, protect this car.
Yeah. This is the Vichy car. But yeah, so the trucks destroy the gas area and the diner area, and we get. This couldn't have been a model, could it? I don't think it's a model. The
No.
way it blows up, I don't think it's a model.
They fucked this place up so big.
But it was like a. I'm kind of sad that they blew it the fuck up, because it looked like it had some cool style to it. Like it had some good neon and everything.
I think
like
this
it
thing was
wasn't-
just built for this movie. I think they just.
You think they built that
Yeah.
for the movie?
Or they found. I mean, look at how many inner
Sure.
truck stops there are that are abandoned. They might have just gone and be like, well, we'll use this
We'll-
place and
we'll
we'll
fix
doll
it up
doll
and-
it up a little
yeah.
bit and then blow it up.
Because like when they were driving through it, it was bare bones, like just plywood and
Yeah, I mean, and it could have been that originally,
Yeah.
when that place was built.
Yeah.
But it
whichever it
looked
is,
cool,
Man.
And then they blew it the fuck up.
Yeah.
That first explosion got a
Well, it's not
got
even,
a noise out of me.
It's not even so much the first explosion is not what you think it is. It's not a fireball. It's
Yeah.
just that splintery wood explosion that you get like when the White House blows up in Independence Day.
Yeah.
It's that just splintery goodness of just like, man, just everything inside combusted and then blew outward.
Yep.
And then you get a fire. You get like these coordinated fireballs like on either side, and then just secondary explosions pop off the whole time. And
It's a good sequence of explosions.
yeah, it is.
It's very satisfying.
But then there's just kind of like, I guess we have to tie this movie up because, they're
like, oh, we have to end this.
They've escaped and like, they're just kind of, like I said, they're just kind of walking through the woods and everything, and they come up on a sign. It's like, all right, a marina in 2 miles or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Then they come to another diner / drive-through place, and they're trying to sneak by this diner, and all of a sudden the drive-through menu board lights up and goes,
Humans here. Humans here.
Yep.
Humans here. Humans here.
and the kid Deke, like, he gets this look in his eyes. He's like, I got this.
Yeah.
And he walks up with because they all have guns from the arsenal, and he's like, this is for my dad, you son of a bitch, and just unloads,
Murders the sign.
murders the sign, and doesn't. No, he's the only one that murders the sign, and then he just hands off the gun to
he's
the.
just like, I don't want this
I
anymore.
don't want this anymore.
I don't want this anymore. I'm a man of peace. I'm done killing.
Also, technically, guys, this is a machine. It could kill
Yeah.
us at any point in time.
It's right in the name, machine
Right.
gun.
Yeah.
When you see the marina sign, the camera pans over and you see the school bus, and the school bus has been dive bombed by that plane we saw earlier, which is sticking straight into it,
Perfectly perpendicular.
like not at an angle, like straight into it. Like this plane just saw a school bus and was like, "Man, fuck those kids," and just went straight into it and is stuck in the middle top of the school bus. It's man, it's a good visual.
It's magnificent.
You could say they're on perpendicular planes.
Yeah,
We got jokes
you
over
could
here.
say that. You could totally say.
It is plain to see.
Yeah.
Anyway, they get to the marina, and Emilio Estevez is like, "That's the boat I've been dreaming about. Let's steal it."
Oh no, not yet, because like first another truck comes on them on the highway. Like a truck is just coming along. Oh no, it's the ice cream truck from earlier.
Right.
Finds them, and then I think it's Curtis and the hitchhiker girl just unload guns at it
Gleefully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it does a good explosion air ramp, flip thing.
Yep.
And as the music like, because of course it was playing evil,
course.
creepy
Right.
ice cream music.
Apparently, that thing was supposed to flip multiple times.
Yeah.
But it only flipped the once and nearly killed a cameraman.
Of course, why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's a good looking shot.
It still looks good,
yeah.
but yeah.
Again, like, all right, so our argument of like what can come alive and what can't is then thrown into chaos again because we get to the marina and they are all like, yeah, so Emilio Estevez is like, that's the boat, that's the one I wanted, let's go get it. And then one dude, and I recognize him, I just can't remember his name. He's one of those guys. Sees there's a car that like apparently the automatic window murdered a woman,
Right.
Because she is just like choked to death in the window with her like arm hanging out, and she's got a giant fucking rock of a
That might have
wedding
been
ring.
Marla Maples.
Maybe okay, all right, but like he's just like, oh, that
Yeah, just all of a sudden,
everything's fucked up, but I
Yeah.
need that giant diamond
Sure.
because why
this
not?
will come in handy on Haven Island.
Yeah, and so like this is when the Green Goblin truck has shown up and just snuck up.
Yeah.
It's stealth. It
Its
is stealth.
stealth
move.
arrived.
It held down B and stealthed up on him, and and he just kind of turns around and they're like, look out, and
Yeah.
he just gets run over by the truck.
He gets stealth trucked.
And then Emilio Estevez is like, fuck this shit, I still have a rocket launcher,
Yeah.
and rocket launches to the
He's just
truck
like, screw you, motherfucker.
shoots
and,
it like right in the mouth,
Yeah.
and then it's like, does it gonna blow up? And then it's like a delayed
well,
explosion.
it kind of like you get sort of like okay, that disabled the truck. I guess that's all we're gonna get. And he kind of he goes and runs back on the boat, and then they set off the secondary explosion, which is this truck fucking vaporizes.
Oh, yeah.
Because like this entire movie, I was like, man, I wonder where that prop is. That would be fun to because I've seen people like rebuild it and stuff, but no, they blew something up.
Yep.
At least one of them is disintegrated.
Yeah. And then they just sail off in the boat, and there's text on the fucking screen again of like,
Well, this thing is like a Russian satellite armed with rockets shot down a UFO.
Specifically, air quotes of like a Russian weather satellite
Yeah.
that just happened to have ICBMs and lasers on it.
Because, again, someone mentioned something about that, about a satellite. I think it was during Emilio's weird heat stroke fever dream. But, yeah, it's like everything he said kind of is like, yeah, there was a UFO hiding in the comet, and a Russian satellite shot it down. And anyway, we wrote it out, and they survived.
6 days later, we're surviving. And the survivors of the, whatever it was, the good old boy or the fucking southern boy or whatever the fuck is boy, something boy was the name of the truck stop. And they're like, they're still survivors today. Movie over.
Yep.
Get the fuck out of the theater.
But please enjoy some more AC/DC on your way out.
Right. Really, two things. Thing one, that kind of sailboat absolutely has a motor in it.
Oh, sure.
So they're fucked.
Nah, they're paddling.
No. They're fucked because that thing's going to drive them like...
It's going to pop out of the water and go and just come right at them.
Yeah, it's going to... Like a cigarette boat. Just...
How Evan Rude.
Good one. Good one. How long you been saving that one?
Nah, just now.
So yeah, that like they're totally going to die because of that boat.
Mm-hmm.
But also, all they have to do, like if they don't put that text on the screen, nothing changes except you enjoy the ending of the movie more.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know why they
that end title card is just like what?
that's got to be like a producer thing. It's like, no, we gotta say something about the Russians and
Yeah. Because there's a large executive producer credit in the middle of these at the end, which was probably someone would be like, nah, Stephen King, you're on a lot of coke and you're not making any sense. Get off that powder.
Ice.
It was the Russians.
You may be king of the Steves, but I'm the king around here.
Nah.
I say what goes.
Yeah.
Well, you Animal House this ending.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's done. Like they're out.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, they survived.
Mm-hmm. And they're still surviving today.
Yep, and they continue to survive today.
Yeah, even though everything's back to normal, it's still just living off on fucking,
Yeah, I wonder,
fuck
like,
off
are they just living on the
Blood-Eyed
island, not knowing that everything's back to normal everywhere else, and they're
Yeah.
just sitting out there? Yeah.
And we call them the Mennonites.
So.
By Mennonites. I don't know.
Yeah.
The movie's over.
Yeah.
Despite the custom soundtrack by AC/DC, there's no Stargrove in this. There's not even anything close. Like they didn't bother to be
it's
like.
not a custom soundtrack.
Well,
it is.
okay.
Some of it is.
Some of it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Some of it is written
written
specifically for this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't write it specifically for this movie. They
No.
wrote an AC/DC song and put it in this movie.
Right. Yeah. So there's no Stargroves. The waitress almost ensigns, but not quite.
Pretty close.
I think they tackle her before she gets a chance to go full ensign.
Yeah.
So I'm not giving it to her.
Although she did run out there with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, but not.
I think
She
it
was,
was.
does
she'd
go
already
out
been
there-
shot.
She does go out there and scream
Sure.
twice.
Man.
Yeah.
And then one time she goes out there and screams, losing her goddamn mind. The second time she runs out there and grabs a rocket launcher.
Yeah, but she's
So-
doing it to avenge her piece of shit boss.
Yeah, but she is like losing her fucking mind.
Yeah. It's close. I don't know.
Close.
It's not- I don't know. I would say no.
It is not Fargrove. Or no, that's the wrong joke. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, actual ratings.
It's an
Right.
ensign, maybe.
A Menson.
By Menson.
Stop it.
Anyone have a rating? Anyone want to go?
I'll go.
Okay. So open up the bidding.
Chuck, before you rate this,
yeah.
you have watched this for 31 and 31,
I did
haven't you?
a couple years ago. Yeah. Yeah.
And I have seen this at some point in my life.
I have not seen this. Chuck, do you remember what you rated it for 31 and 31?
The thing is that I want to say it was one of those dumb years where I wasn't giving star ratings. I was just saying see it or don't see it. So I want to say I probably gave it like 3.5 stars. But like I didn't log it on Letterboxd, so I'm not exactly sure. I know I said watch it. I know that for a fact. So here's what I'm going to say about it on our scale. I'm going to give this 4 jocks. It can't quite get 5 because it's a fucking mess. Like it is. Like, there's so much good stuff in this. There really is so much good stuff in this. But it's like, I don't want to say the ineptitude of it, but it's the cocaine-ness of it is hurting it. Like there are really high highs, but then there's just so much, like, what's happening? Like, what's going on here? Like, why are the trucks circling? Like, why are the people not concerned about this? Like, why is the waitress the only one freaking out? It's just the human interaction in the middle of this thing doesn't make any sense. It doesn't feel like reality. And when you build a horror world, you have to have you have to have the fantastical, you have to have the weird thing that you buy into, and I'm on board with that. Like the Halley's Comet, like it took over these machines and now they're evil. Fine, that works for me. They set that up in the first 3 minutes, and I'm totally on board. They made that bang sign say "fuck you," and that's all I needed. I'm like, yeah, I'm on board. But then it's like all the people are just like, no one's acting like a normal human being, and it's strange. It's just so strange to me that the people are so badly written. And that's usually what Stephen King excels at, is dialogue and character interaction and stuff like that. So there's so much good stuff in this. I just can't go 5 because it's like once they start doing the weird Great Escape shit to go rescue the guy that no one gives a fuck about, I kind of just blanked out of this movie. Like, if this AC/DC song wasn't playing, I would just totally not be giving a shit. And it kind of doesn't recover until the very end where everything explodes. Yeah. So it's just there's something so disappointing about this movie to me that I can't quite go all the way, but it is still an experience. And you should, you should see the movie that Stephen King directed.
Yeah.
You should just see it. Do that.
I'm real torn on this one. And I'm sitting, like, I very rarely say that I would give it a half rating, and that we're not allowed to do. This very much would be a 2.5 jocks movie for me.
Okay.
Because the things that are broken with this movie make me angry. Like,
yeah, the logic stuff.
Yeah, the logic stuff. Like, we've said awesome or logical, go awesome, but I also believe in movie logic. Like, I will go with you however you want to establish a thing, but you're establishing there is a cart that can control a gun, and yet their guns aren't affected. Like, there's so much like plot hole stuff that it really annoys the piss out of me. But it's fun. It's got stupid songs. It's got some stupid lines. Things blow up a lot. There's really good stunt and occasional camera work. People were maimed and harmed to make this movie. Shout
out to those heroes.
Yeah. I think I have to give it 3, all things considered, just because it's like, R.I.P. cameraman's eye and all this stuff. I'm just like all this shit that's like, I shouldn't reward it for it because it's like kind of like, hey, fuck you, like, stop doing drugs and observe safety and don't nearly run over Emilio Estevez with a full size truck.
Yeah, it's the 80s.
Yeah,
yeah.
The mighty trucks. Sorry, that literally just popped in my head. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, man.
Write down the episode title.
Fuck. Oh, God damn it. I'm pissed. I'm sorry.
Why are you mad?
I don't know.
Why are you mad?
I don't know why.
That's
really good,
what we
better late
need.
than never.
But yeah, it is. Like, I got to give it 3, but like, there's so much about this movie that makes me angry that it's like it's almost a begrudging 3. Like, there's so much pieces of it that like warrant that on the BMFcast scale.
Yeah.
Personally, like, if I were rating this like a movie, it would probably be way lower because I can't get over the logic holes and things like that in this movie. It's annoying, and like I don't know. Like, I get trying to make a bad guy. I sort of get trying to make a bad guy. Like, to me, it's like, you can make a guy that's a piece of shit that's obviously going to die at some point. Like, we're an asshole, Gorman. That kind of guy. But like, at a certain point, he's got to go, you know what? I should probably get on board because this like shit is fucking up, and I got to stop being an asshole. And then he never makes that fucking turn.
Yeah.
Really. And it's like the only reason he quote unquote kind of goes hero is because they fucked with his car. So there's just a lot of wrong with this movie, and I'm going to stop talking about it now. It's a begrudging 3.
Okay.
There is a lot wrong with this movie. There's a ton of it that makes it kind of, I guess, not a great movie. I don't think it's... Yeah, it qualifies for that sort of B-movie thing, and you can easily call it a bad movie. But there is some just 110% fucking insane greatness in this movie. And I really, really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. I've always heard about like Maximum Overdrive is like this is if you want to see Stephen King fucking bullshit, this is your movie. I've always been a fan of his writing bullshit, but this is not nearly as bad as people make it out to be, and it's a hell of a lot of fun to sit through and watch just happen.
I feel like if he did make a cameo and you didn't know for some reason that he directed it, there is nothing that has his DNA or fingerprints on this at all. Like, I mean, this isn't his kind of thing. It's not in Maine, like there's not.
Just because it's not, I mean,
I know there's some other things that don't take place in Maine, like Parts of the Stand and things.
Plenty of his stuff that doesn't take place in, our regular Earth times either.
Well, sure, if you take the Dark Tower series, yes, but I'm just saying, like,
It does. It usually his stuff is about a small thing,
Right.
that menaces a community that has no way of explaining it to the outside world. And this is a global event. I mean, this is like The Stand.
We don't even really know it's a global event though. Like it can be reasonably assumed that it's sort of like in The Mist where you kind of know that there's something else probably going on out there. It's still very small because it's this is affecting.
Yeah, that's true. It's just it's so
one town.
Grandiose and over the top.
I think if you cut out the, this is happening all over the world bullshit, and especially the real thing that fucks with that is that ending 4 sentences of a credits crawl. Like that thing, if you cut that out, you have no idea that this affected the rest of the world, and you get something that I feel is actually really a Stephen King kind of story. Like weird stuff happens for no reason and menaces people. And I mean, he's a big fan of machines coming alive. So I feel like it does have a lot of like Stephen King nuts to it.
I think maybe it's just because the characters are so flat and they don't have any good dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'll just give you 2 other examples of like Stephen King-esque like weird things are happening to a small group of people. A good and a bad. Like, I don't like Signs. Not at all. I don't like Signs at all. But that is like, here's a big, crazy global thing that's happening, and we're going to focus on like 5 people in a house. Like, that doesn't work for me at all because the ending is so fucking stupid that it just invalidates the entire thing. It's like, whatever. We've had the statute of limitations on spoiling Signs is now gone. You don't travel. You don't invent space technology. Travel across the galaxy. Go to a place that is 3/4 of the thing that can fucking kill you. Like you're not. That's so fucking stupid. It's inexcusable. However, equally so, and I've said it earlier this year, A Quiet Place is basically Signs that I fucking love. It's the same kind of like there's crazy shit happening, and we're focusing on just a couple of people, and I fucking adore every frame of that movie. So it's like. And even like some lesser B tier ones like Legion. Legion is like almost Maximum Overdrive except with demons.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just like there are things like that, and like, but the characters are interesting along the way.
Yep.
And this is the problem is like if Emilio wasn't like, I feel like Emilio occasionally does some things that could be considered badass as an actor standing in front of a truck, totally badass. As a guy in the movie, everyone is telling him he's a fucking hero before he does anything.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the only thing that's like. Well, I guess he's our de facto hero because everyone's saying he is.
Yeah.
And I feel like show it, don't say it. And
Right.
that Stephen King's usually better at that. But again,
Yeah, the thing that gets him the hero moniker is that he smashes that electric knife with a hammer.
Right.
It's like,
yeah.
okay. Anyway.
I kind of lost my train of thought on. Yeah, it's all right. But even with all the like dumb bullshit, if we're looking at it in a BMFcast sort of way,
It ticks a lot of boxes. Yeah.
there's a lot of shit right about this movie, and I am torn between 4 and 5 jocks.
Oh.
Which is, I didn't expect this to be anywhere near my rating. I walked into the studio like, that was pretty fucking good. I really liked that. Like, I was probably closer to 5 jocks when I walked into the studio than I am now. But I will do this. I will say it's a 4. If it tightened up a bit, it would be easily a 5 jocks movie. There's just, man, I'm a huge sucker for explosions. Especially really good ones like this movie has. Like when the truck rolls down the hill and explodes, the one where Connie and Kurt trick the truck into going off road.
Roads.
That's a stellar explosion. That's like in a lot of movies that would earn it, maybe half a jocks or so.
Yeah.
And that ending explosion is worth probably a jocks itself.
Yeah. Well, the toilet paper explosion, the Miller explosion, these are all good.
They're just so many good explosions and so many things where like that. Let's either go for plausible or awesome, and we just go for like coke fueled awesome, and I like that. This movie really satisfies a lot of done things.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say there was somebody randomly, like somebody that died and got run over by a truck, and I don't know who it was. There was some point where when the truck mayhem towards the end was happening, they just ran over somebody that was already dead, and I don't know why. It's the weird little shit like that that's really macabre that I really like.
Oh, when the Bible salesman gets bumped into the ditch, the truck runs so the truck is like been parked over to the side, and the truck starts to just backs up and bonks the Bible salesman into the ditch.
Yeah.
The Bible salesman has dropped his shoes, I think.
Yeah.
and
He got
and his
knocked out of
Bible
his shoes.
case.
got knocked out of his shoes, and his Bible case has flown off. And when the truck rolls back by, it rolls over the Bible case and over the shoes before it parks back into the...
Yeah.
There are a ton of little details like that in this movie that I just fucking adore. I don't know who is responsible for them, but I love them. And you're right, the dialogue isn't quite as realistic or insightful, and I think that's probably just Stephen King not being that great of a screenwriter. When you have time and 400 pages, 400 to 1,000 pages in a book, you can write that dialogue out how you expect it to be heard. But when you're trying to, clip through it in a movie, it's just not as easy.
I feel like when he's writing just straight for the screen, he works best in the anthology things, like his bits in Creep Show and Cat's Eye, even, which is still it's goofy as fuck and it's kind of dumb, but like I think this problem with like making something other than adapting his already books into movies, it works better in like the anthology world. Like I just don't think, I don't think he works well in a 30-page medium.
Because you don't have to have an act structure in the anthology world. It's basically one act.
Yeah.
So,
and you can also stretch that stuff out longer as opposed to having 90 minutes to 2 hours for for just a single movie. And apparently in the short story, it was only trucks.
Yep.
So I think had they stuck
so
to
like no other electronics or gadgetry,
trucks.
just trucks.
yeah.
As far as I know.
Okay.
So I think had he stuck to that structure, it probably would have been more effective. But cocaine's a hell of a drug.
All right.
I still think it's a pretty successful endeavor.
Yeah.
Even though it was a flop.
I wish there's a lot of support for this movie. I wish it could get to Stephen King. I just wish he would say maybe I should revisit. I'm sure it's probably pretty painful, and probably the behind the scenes stuff really probably tainted his experience. Injuring a lot of people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you just want to say, dude, no, there have been plenty of worse Stephen King movies than this one. Plenty.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I think that era of his life was really self-destructive, and he nearly ruined his life with it. With the drugs.
Sure.
And it basically took him getting hit by a van to stop fucking up. So
he was scared of trucks this whole time, and a fucking van did it.
Yeah.
Man, if only he'd listened to Vanuary. But 30 years ago. But it can be painful to think about that, and maybe he just doesn't want to dip his toes back into that water.
Yeah.
Specifically that point in his life. But
yeah.
I would like to see. I'm torn. Honestly, I would like to see somebody. I would like to see them a remake of this movie.
They did.
Did they? When?
There's a TV movie called Trucks that tried to focus more on the actual material, and it's fucking garbage.
Terrible. Yeah.
It's like, what are you guys thinking you're doing? If you can't do bigger and better, It's like,
Was it
hey,
just
Stephen
like-
King, get the fuck out of the way. We're gonna remake your shit. It's like, no.
A, TV movie, and B,
Yeah.
But I would like to see a retry, like, a do-over on this almost. But at the same time, I don't think in this day and age, I don't think it gets made like it should.
No.
Like, you couldn't, they would all be CGI trucks.
Yeah.
They wouldn't make 25 remote control trucks for
Nothing
a fucking
real
movie.
would explode
Yeah.
in a remake. So,
But
yeah.
anyhow, I loved it. Great job, Steve.
Good job, Steve. Well, let's take a break, shall we?
Yes.
Okay.
Does anybody have anything for the second half?
No.
I could briefly talk about a couple horror movies. Since it is spooky.
It is our last chance for spooky movies.
month.
Yeah, we can never talk about spooky movies after this. Ever.
Ever.
Yeah. I have a couple, 1408 and Dead Silence.
1408 is a Stephen King movie.
Is it really?
1408 is, I think so, yeah.
The one about the hotel room?
The Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. Is that a Stephen King?
Yeah.
I had no idea. It's real dumb.
I think it's from that era when people stopped advertising that it was a Stephen King thing.
I did not get a chance to see Scream for Help yet. I will let you know when I get there.
That's an affirmative. It is based on a short story by Stephen King.
Okay. It's real dumb.
Seem to remember I saw this. I couldn't tell you a
I saw it.
goddamn thing about it.
John Cusack.
Yeah.
And Samuel L. Jackson.
I feel like that was that the movie? Because I remember someone had posited that, like, John Cusack's never made a bad movie. And then I just feel like this one came out and they're like, well, okay, maybe I was wrong.
Well, he wasn't working that much. He was only doing a movie or two a year.
The movie where...
Now he's made a shit ton
Oh,
of bad
I know. I just, like, I mean, somewhere around that era, it was like, man, if you look at his filmography, like, no one can come close. It's like, good movie after good movie.
Yeah.
And then it was like things, like, I want to say that might be the one where it was like, okay, maybe not.
Is that movie where he's like a killer and he vapes all the time?
That's every movie.
Is that
He
every
vapes in every movie he's in now.
He nearly smokes in this movie a lot in 1408.
I like the 1408 comes up on his known for page.
Is it new?
No, it's fucking, like,
Wait, so not Better Off Dead?
Gross Point Blank, High Fidelity, Say Anything, 1408.
No.
Not One Crazy Summer, not Better Off Dead.
No.
Like,
No.
yeah.
Wrong.
What year did it come out?
2007?
That's what I thought. That's weird.
I don't know. I really don't like Identity. I keep trying to like
should like
Identity.
Identity.
I've tried.
It's good.
I don't fucking like Identity.
Good. It's like Event Horizon. Seen Event Horizon?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't this because he also made Must Love Dogs, and that just doesn't sound good.
Must Love Dogs was actually okay.
Is it? Okay. Jesus, I haven't seen any of these. I haven't seen apparently I haven't seen one of his movies since fucking Hot Tub Time Machine 1 and 2. I haven't seen any of these. Holy shit.
Yeah, he got into that, like, I'm going to hang out with 50 Cent and we're going to make shitty movies where there's a bunch of famous people in them, but each one's only in it for like 12 minutes.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know what happens. I don't know. I don't understand this industry of name actors who suddenly go into this market of, I'm just going to make these movies where I'm in them for 12 minutes and I'll be in 12 of them a year.
Well, that one he was in that was like Almost Drive Angry, but it's not the one with Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
I've had that on our BMFcast pile for so long.
Yeah.
I feel like we just need to watch that one.
Probably should.
I think it's Drive Hard.
It might be. You've got his list up.
Huh?
You have his
Well,
list
I
up.
was just looking at it. Let me
Yeah.
go back.
Drive hard.
I think that's what it was.
What? Whose movie?
The John Cusack movie he made like a couple years ago that actually, like there's those Bulgarian movies that like every once in a while it's like they kind of care.
Yeah.
And that felt like one of them.
Like that Antonio Banderas movie
think
we
that's-
watched, kind of cared.
I think
and it's directed by Brian Trenchard Smith.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was that the one that I watched? It's hard to tell because he wears all black and vapes, I guess, in all these movies.
Literally every movie.
Well, this one is definitely all black cap, and Thomas Jane's in it, and it looks like a Drive Angry
yeah,
ripoff.
he just walks from set to set with that getup on.
Okay, hang on.
But yeah, Brian Trenchard Smith directed this, so I feel like we should watch this.
I'm pretty sure I watched this. I'm pretty sure I talked about it.
Oh, wait, he made Aztec Rex too.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not a sign if it's going to be awesome.
It used to be.
It used to be.
Yeah. He kind of just became director for hire.
BMX Bandits.
Bindits.
He made BMX Bandits.
Bindits. Bindits.
Wait, there was a
Oh, he's like a
maybe
it's
it
like a
was
driving instructor or something in this movie.
Mission Impossible series from the 80s. They did that.
Yeah, it was a. They just did it again, like
Oh.
brought back Peter Graves and shit.
Oh, okay.
Biography.
Brian Trenchard Smith did Leprechaun 4 in space.
Yeah, he did 3 also.
Did he?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, there it is.
he's a leprechaun expert.
Yeah.
Lexpert. Leperspert. Yeah, he also did the Omega Code too. Not the Omega Code,
Mm-hmm.
which sucks, but the Omega Code too.
Wait, what's the Omega Code?
Oh, it's that religious bullshit.
Oh, that shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
someone made me watch that first one. I don't know. It was like, you should watch this. And I started watching it. I was like, why the fuck did you
I
tell me to
think
watch
the Omega Code is the one with Michael Ironside in it, and you know he's a bad guy because he smokes.
Oh.
Like, they show him light up a cigarette in the most sinister way possible.
Casper Van Dien.
Yeah, it's all that Casper Van Dien shit. Yeah, that's it. He comes out and he's just like, "Hi, I'm here to help." And then, like, the music swells and he lights a cigarette and you're like, "Oh, man, that fucker's evil."
Oh, it's got William Hootkins in it.
Hootkins.
Must be filmed in England.
Hootkins. Yeah, because he just
Must-
lives
yeah,
at
must-
Pinewood
must
Studios.
Must be down that
Yeah.
block or whatever. Or they just like, yeah, come
Yeah,
on.
he
in.
just has a trailer right there at Pinewood.
I have no idea why, but someone handed me this DVD back then. It was like, you should watch this, and I was like,
Oh yeah, that was
I'll watch anything.
that was the thing around that time.
Yeah,
People were like, "Hey,
Religious
open
people
your
were
eyes,
trying
man."
to get you into it.
Yeah,
They're gonna like backdoor you into the religion with some.
yeah. And every movie like that is so bad. It's like, I'd like to see the one that is actually converting people, but they're all so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck, I sat through that Nicolas Cage Left Behind movie,
Yeah.
and that was bad. And
I think I watched the other Left Behind, the original one.
the Kirk Cameron one.
Yeah.
That's bad too.
Yeah, it was. Maybe when I say I watched it, I think maybe I tried
it
to
on.
watch. Yeah, I think I might have started watching it, and I don't think I maybe finished watching it. Goodbye, bye, someone for your eye. Goodbye, first half Chiron. Hello, second half Chiron.
Chiron Beta Prime. I'm like 88% sure that I watched Drive Hard and talked about it on the podcast.
Cool.
All right.
It's a thing.
Okay. Maybe that's why we never did it. Because I was like, oh man, this movie that just came out. I feel like we need to watch this.
Yeah, and then BJ was like, "I'll watch it."
I watched it.
Maybe
I think I just saw it on Netflix, and one day it was
maybe
like,
we were in the middle of August or something. It was just like we were never gonna
Probably.
watch it. Can't break August.
Right.
It's just vape timber. Just watch all the junk use
Vape roll. Vape roll. We need vape and apes. Vape.
April, where we watched the Bulgarian John Cusack movies, where he just wanders from set to set.
Yep.
vaping.
What did I hit?
All right, well, let's talk about your shit, I guess, because I don't have anything.
Talk about your shit.
I don't have much to say about them.
Well, we'll get in and we'll get the hell out.
Didn't we have an email?
We did.
I think it was like last week related, so I figured maybe we should read it.
Okay, find it.
Even though half of, or 1/3 of us hasn't seen last week's movie.
I think it's just a plea to watch the extras on the Blu-ray.
Oh. Okay, well, we'll still read it.
Okay,
Because, they wrote us and all.
they did. Yeah, we should read
Respect the people writing,
it. Right.
communicating
Respect.
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 with us. All right, whatever.
Gotta
I'm just gonna
respect the condom. I just broke Chuck with another Adam Sandler comedy CD.
We all fucking hate Adam Sandler, but man, those comedy CDs are fucking gold. Not a day goes by that I don't quote one. Whenever I see stairs, I'm just like, why'd you take the stairs? They're fun. Oh, Fatty McGee, you're the fattest. It's all just fucking stupid as bullshit.
I say the nighttime is the right time.
Yep.
All the fucking time. People say something about the sun. I'm like, yeah, the sun. Fuck. They say fuck the sun. You say, yeah, fuck the fucking sun. I fucking hate it too. Long live the fucking beast. There's a girl I want to meet there. Okay.
Oh my god.
Nighttime is the right time. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I died there for a second.
Okay. Well, welcome back.
I went to Transformer Heaven.
Yeah? Was Shia there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And he told me, no.
That's why you came back?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. Thanks, Shia. Right, here we go. All right, and welcome back.
Hey, BMFcast.
Yeah. This might be a short second half because nobody's watching anything except for BJ.
Yeah.
That's why you took a week off, because you watched the
Man.
movies.
Yeah, I watched 2 movies, so I had to take a whole week off. But I didn't watch them until after last week's podcast, so
It works
Don't
out.
tell the people that.
I'm
The
gonna
math
tell 'em.
checks out.
I'm gonna tell them. I'm keeping it 100 over here. So, as happens sometimes, have a little horror movie night with some friends, and we watched last Saturday 2 movies. The first one was 1408, a timely Stephen King joint.
Yeah.
It was based on, I guess, a short story by Stephen King. It stars John Cusack, who does not vote.
Hey, kids, remember this November, vote.
Vote. Get out and vote.
I don't know. I'm pointing over there. The cameras are over here.
Okay, we get it. You vote.
Yeah.
No, who does not vape in this particular production.
Well, there's no vaping yet.
No. Well, yeah, I guess this was 2007. Not
Right.
many people were vaping, especially not John Cusack. He almost smokes. I think he might smoke once, but this is probably the beginning of the John Cusack vape era. Also has Samuel L. Jackson in it, turning in a less Jackson-y performance than I would have expected.
Yeah.
Basically, John Cusack is a I don't remember what he did before. Well, okay, shut up.
I bet he was a writer.
He's a writer.
Yeah.
So I don't remember if he was like a shitty writer before or something. But
And Samuel Jackson's his #1 fan.
no,
Oh.
no, it's not. But he writes about these like supposedly haunted places. He goes and stays in
Okay.
these supposedly
Yes.
haunted places.
Right.
And he gets a postcard or something that's like, "Don't stay in room 1408," or "Stay in room 1408."
Of the Overlook Hotel?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
And 1 plus 4 plus 0 plus 8 equals 13.
Spooky.
What? Oh, math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How 237 times, how many gets to 1408? I don't know.
I don't fucking know, man. Anyway. He goes to this hotel, and Sam Jackson's like, "No, you can't stay in this room." And
He's like, but I have to.
He's like,
because
but I
his
have to.
postcard said not to.
yeah, right. He makes some sort of deal. Anyway, the room is haunted as fuck, and bad things happen to him, and he goes crazy, or doesn't. I fell asleep halfway through the movie. I was very tired.
It's a hell of a review.
I know, it's great. It's scintillating, but this is content, and I'm producing it right now.
Fair
so
enough.
you guys don't have any content, so fuck off with mine.
All right.
I'd like to see him remake this movie as 140 Vape.
Yes, as would I. But it's pretty much real dumb.
All right.
And at the
In conclusion.
in conclusion, it's real dumb. It's I don't even know how to describe it, but just pass on 1408.
Hard
All
pass.
Yeah, firm pass.
Firm pass.
Yeah, firm pass. So then we watched, as a palate cleanser, I don't know, Dead Silence, which is a movie about spooky dolls.
Oh, right. Yeah.
spooky ventriloquist dummies.
Yeah.
And that one is real dumb too, but it's real dumb in a lot of fun ways. And there's some actually really spooky shit in that movie.
Yeah.
What movie is this? I'm sorry, I missed
It's
this.
called Dead Silence.
It's the movie they made after Saw. It was like the next movie from the Saw people.
Was it from the Saw people?
Yeah.
Because there's a little Saw Easter egg in it.
Yeah.
And it's real dumb, but it's real dumb in the ways I kind of like horror movies to be. It's kind of campy and goofy, and nobody does anything that's like extraordinarily stupid that I remember.
Yeah, it's just like people find a thing and it has a backstory and they gotta go
like,
track the backstory.
This
and,
evil doll and
Yeah.
all this stuff.
But it's also silly. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, it's kind of silly.
Yeah.
But it's never like... I don't remember any like dolls coming to life and stabbing you in the ankle silly. It's just there's a bunch of like...
And they're like a cemetery room filled with these things and they all like turn their heads at the same time.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's a really good... That's a good scene.
Yeah.
Like, this crazy lady is buried and she dies and she wants to be buried with her dolls and somebody digs up the doll and sends it to his wife.
That's...
And
Yeah.
his wife gets murdered.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
It is.
It's real dumb. But it's got some things, like, it's got some actual spooky stuff. Like, not anything that happens in the foreground that's really super spooky, but stuff that happens off in the background.
Right.
That's spooky, like the dolls turning their heads, or they, you'll see something move in the background. You're like, ah, turn around. You're like yelling at them in the theater.
Yep.
Over here. Turn around.
Over here. Look over here. If you like that kind of horror movie, it's all right. It's pretty decent. I think it's kind of fun in a way. It's not, like I said, it's not super spooky unless there are a few things like dolls that that really creep you out. But it's fun. I would, I've never been really all that big into horror. As I think I've said like 100 times on the podcast. But as I kind of get roped into watching these horror movies with people, I'm finding that there is a certain kind of horror movie that I like. And it's stuff like this that is just sort of goofily spooky, but has some good kind of creepy elements to it. And it doesn't take itself super seriously all the time. And it's not like real deep psychological horror stuff, because that stuff kind of bothers me. But the like scary guy coming at you with a hatchet kind of stuff, I don't really get bothered by. But I'm kind of finding out the things that I like about horror movies, and that's kind of nice that I'm discovering that some of that genre is for me, because I'd kind of written it off several years ago as being like, nah, I'm just not even going to pay attention to it. I'm not going to bother with it. I'm going to actively avoid horror movies because I don't really like any of them. But it's nice that I found something to like about them.
There's a certain subset of horror movies that are super mean-spirited. And
Yes.
I could see how those... I generally don't watch those. Those aren't fun to me because they are just... they are literally horrific. It's just like, there's not going to be any fun to be had here. This is going to be the worst imaginable shit you can think of. And it's like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't need that. Just give me some dumb, pure evil that, some telekinetic girl is able to defeat, or some dumb bullshit,
So I'm curious, your horror viewings, are they strictly horror? Like, I mean, you set out to watch horror movies on these nights that you
Not always. It just
kind of
the last,
It's spooky month.
Sure.
well, probably half of the ones that I've been able to make, it's been, they wanted to watch horror movies.
Well,
so
just
I'm like,
if I can have them pivot, if people haven't seen it, just because you brought it to my attention, I'm going to again recommend Upgrade. It's the same people. It's the writer guy. It's the guy who wrote Dead Silence and Saw. His directorial debut. Not a horror movie per se, though there are some kind of horrific things that happen to people, but not a horror movie. It's like that. I can see why he wanted to make the movie, because it's like, you make all these things where it's like, oh, well, I wrote another thing with supernatural powers, I can't do anything, and now it's like, no, I want to be able to murder those things. Like, you know, like I want to have
Okay.
some revenge, you know, kind of feeling to it. Yeah, but I mean, I'm again trying to sell that movie to everybody because it's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
If I can make the sell, I will sell it. I generally don't have too much of a choice on what we're watching.
Okay.
But I will see if I can stir some people in that direction.
Yeah, I feel like now I feel like I kind of abandoned
My boy.
the James Wan universe. You know, I just feel like I need to like revisit some of these because like I don't really feel the need to watch anything past the first Saw. You know, so I don't think I'm going to go down that route. But you know, I enjoyed Insidious enough, and I liked some of The Conjuring. You know, like there's
Okay, I think I liked Insidious. Like, it was scary.
Insidious is good. The ending is like I couldn't tell you what the fuck happened. It was like there's a point where dark is scary, and there's a point where dark is I don't even know what's happening right now. Like the last 15
yeah.
minutes of that
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
is
yeah.
so dark. It was like,
Yeah.
is this scary? I mean, if you're scared of the dark, I guess, but but you know, like,
Yeah.
Are you afraid of the dark?
I literally can't see what's happening right now, so I'm not scared. But like I said, the first Saw I think it's a thing. Like the first Saw, even though it's torture porn, and it's like everyone mentions that when you're talking about torture porn, the first one is a unique idea. I will give it
Yes.
that. You
Yeah.
know,
And it scared the bejesus out of me when I watched it in the mountains of North Carolina in a hotel room.
yeah. But
It was very dark.
like I said, I feel like this Dead Silence seems like a thing I would watch.
It's goofy.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
I think that about wraps it up for second half content, except for an email that we
Yep.
received. Harlow, would you read that email for us?
Oh, I can do that. I'm
I
not
know
the
you
normal
can.
email reader, but you know
Yes.
I'll give it my best.
But he ain't here.
This is from Jason, aka Jazz Rags, I believe, on the Discords and whatnot.
Okay.
He says, "Hey, BMFcast." I'm gonna fuck it off right off the get go. Hey, BMFcast, Jason Dallas here. I also recently watched Scream for Help, and I totally agree. What a crazy train wreck. I do recommend that you watch the interview with Tom Holland on the Shout Factory disc. I do not think it makes all the choices in the movie make sense, but you get to listen to Tom shit on the director Michael Winter for about 15 minutes. In short, Holland blames Winter for cutting his dialogue, which took away from context, and also for not knowing how to cast, score, or shoot a suspense movie. That's all for now. Crash and burn. So, I guess we need to dive in the special features
Well,
of that.
it sounds like he just says Michael Winter couldn't make a movie.
Yeah,
And
but it carries on for 15 minutes, so maybe he's got some more insights
cool.
beyond that.
Yeah. I could watch that.
Okay. Right, it's just a quick note.
Okay.
BJ hasn't watched it, so
Yeah.
we may have to pass the disc to him before we go watching special features.
True.
I feel like you should catch up on that one.
it's worth catching up
It's a
on.
fucking weird ass movie.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus Brenda.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, Brenda's pretty good.
You'll like Brenda.
All right.
Plus, it has a Stargrove at the end.
No, it doesn't.
Well.
It does.
Ooh, a contested Stargrove.
It's not because it was 2-1. It was voted down.
I was
Stargirl.
right. They are wrong.
No.
Contested
It's just a
Stargrove.
song that says Brenda.
Nope.
Or no, whatever the fuck her name is. Carrie Christie?
Christy. It is a song sung to the main character.
About nothing.
No, it's about her trials and tribulations.
It's not. It is not.
Nah.
Whatever. Anyway.
I'll
Yeah.
listen to it and deliver either the tying vote or crushing your vote. to the
That's
ground.
right. Yes.
I mean, I was with it for about one line, but one line out of a bunch of bullshit does not a Stargrove make. I mean, like one line, I was like, oh, wait, actually, he's talking about your plight, and then it's just like back to Christy. I don't know what you say, but you're pretty, Christy. I can't believe I'm making fun of the.
Yeah, I was
lead
gonna say,
singer of
that's your
Yes.
boy right
I
there.
like Yes, but fuck Yes in the '80s. That's all I gotta say.
Fuck yes in the 80s.
Owner of a Lonely Heart is fucking garbage, and I'm sorry if you like it. I'm just saying, like it's okay as a song. It's just not fucking them. It's like
Okay. All right.
it's like that fucking song for years.
fucking synth goes fucking hard.
It does. I just mean like there's the
come
Robert
over this
Robert
table.
Plant made a fucking song in the '80s that was popular. It's just like that's fucking Robert Plant. Like it's just like I don't remember what song it was, but it was like I remember hearing that the other day. I was like, that's fucking Robert Plant. I've heard that song. I had no idea it was him for years. I had no idea.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So how do people get in touch with us, BJ?
I don't fucking know.
All right, then.
God, just kidding. I do. BMF at BMFcast.com. That's the email address. 910-5JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263. That is the Garfield phone. BMFcast.com is the website. Patreon.com/BMFcast is where you give us all your money.
Don't make yourself destitute on our behalf.
Don't give us all your money.
Give us all the money you can literally afford to give us in monthly installments. Did you get a raise this month? Give it to us instead.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
But we give you stuff for that.
Yeah, sure, a little bit. I mean, a whole lot.
So
really.
eventually we'll get back to doing extra. That is going to happen again, I promise. We joke that episode 100 was the end one, but it's...
What has it been, like 2 weeks since you guys have done an
We
extra?
didn't do one last week, and it's looking
unlikely.
unlikely we're going to get to do one this
Well,
week.
we got a lot of stuff going on,
Yeah, shit's getting real.
It's getting to the holidays, and
Shit's getting real, and we can't get to the movie where they say shit just got real.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, our shit getting real is getting in the way of, fictional shit getting real.
Amen.
Yeah. real shit.
So true. So very true.
Plus, we got to finish off the Transformers and all that.
we got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
We got to work up some more Let's Slays.
Well, we tried that last night.
Yeah, didn't happen.
Semi-unsuccessfully, but
Wow.
we'll see what happens.
Man.
I did a massive fuck up. One of them, it's on me. One
Did
of
you
them,
forget to record?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
We had a few technical problems.
right
Yeah.
in the dick.
Yeah.
Shit happens. But we'll be back to it.
Yeah, there's gonna. I will make sure something in some way, shape, or form goes up.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something.
Yeah. So, and we're still, we still have other plans in the works for some Patreon stuff. It's just, life continues to get in the way.
Yeah.
That dick puncher life.
Yeah. But, yeah. Patreon, give us all your money. Check the, give us something. What?
Patreon, please give us all your money. Patreon, you have it.
Yeah.
No, you guys have been really, really helpful, and you have supported us for a long time, and we really appreciate the fact that you guys give us any money. Period. We've had some new patrons recently, throwing some ducats our direction, and that's awesome. It's nice to see new faces. Also, check out the Discord. Look on the website for links to that. We have some fun talking some shit and talking about video games and all them fun things.
And hey, if you're on there, just speak up. Sometimes it gets quiet. We get busy. Other people get busy. Just throw your shit in there.
Yeah, don't be afraid to speak up, and you can also share things you're doing, your projects. If you got a podcast or whatever.
So many channels.
Yeah, tons of channels. We
give away Steam codes.
Yeah, we got
now.
a Steam. Yeah, we got a Steam code channel, which is really cool. If you have spare Steam codes,
Talk
you
about
can
video
give them
games.
away.
You can talk about your animes on there. I got mentioned on there, and because I totally forgot that channel existed. Someone mentioned me today, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot this. I forgot there was a channel here for the animes.
We got 18 channels that are active. Yeah, we got our Weeb Along Together channel and freaking for all your anime needs, where you can share your.
Is there still a sports channel if you want to talk about sports?
There is the Sports Ball channel.
Nice.
There's also a specific channel for wrestling.
Yeah.
And for pet pictures.
I wandered in there and I was very disappointed with the lack of Huey Lewis talk.
It's Sports Ball, not Sports, the greatest album
Oh,
ever released.
fine. I gotta go. I gotta return some videotapes.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's get out of here.
Okay. I'm Harlow.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And for Mackie, this is BMFcast out. Bye. Motherfucker.
Bye.
Honestly, I wish Jens had tagged me in that as well, so I could see the fucking dumb anime battleship titty statue. So fucking stupid. What if the USS Iowa was an anime titty statue? Well, don't worry, Japan has you covered. And how? It's so fucking dumb. Her hat's got guns and shit on it.
The USS Idaho. Now Idaho, and she got guns.
That's so goofy.
Sad reggae horn.
Although, if it was pinup style instead of huge anime tittles, I'd be like, that's amazing, that's awesome. I'd love to have something like that hanging in my house. But since it's huge anime tittles,
nowhere ever.
yeah, cannot have it.
This, honey.
No, that's my anime battleship girl crawl space. Don't go in there. No.
But yeah, if it's something that you could imagine on the nose cone of a B-25, then
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
it's
imagining that right now.
It's totally acceptable.
But the nose cone is my dick.
Yeah, but you don't B-25.
I haven't been V25 in a long time.
Yeah.
You get a gentleman's chuckle on those.
All right, we're shutting this down.
All right, good night, everyone.
Enough talking about anime titties and battleships and stuff.
Thanks for joining us on this podcast we call Love.